This first block is the upper level management criers who should know better, right? This is going to be the Rachel Maddows, the Stephen Colbert type characters, and them. It's the copium. It's like a whole bunch of segments of copium. I'm putting them in a time capsule, not to make fun of these people, but people in the future needs to see what was going on here in present day 2024. Because if we tell them about it, it wouldn't convey what we actually experienced. So this is our attempt to encapsulate some of the past week's feels for those who like to study history.
One of the big losers, the celeb crowd. We touched on this yesterday. Beyonce, loser. Oprah, huge loser. J-Lo, you matter. Loser. No one cares what you think. If you want to talk to me about what it is you're doing to your skin, I'm all in. Go on. You got my full attention. If you want to tell me who to vote for or what's happening with the economy or immigration, please sit down. No one cares. We would like to know what happened between you and Ben Affleck, what happened between you and P. Diddy, exactly what you're doing to your butt, and how you keep your skin so glowy. That will end the list of things we care about J-Lo's opinion on. Taylor Swift, sorry, you effed around and found out. You do not have unlimited influence. The young girls love you because you sing songs about men who break up with you, and they can all relate to that. No one gives two shits about your political opinion, so you should take it and stuff it. That could be your next song. Stuff it. That's what the American electorate told me. We could play it on Thanksgiving as we do that to our turkeys. They will remind us of you and your political opinions. Julia Roberts, who outed herself not only as a leftist, which we knew, but as somebody who, and by the way, she's also a husband stealer. She stole the husband that she has right now in a reported affair. So, okay, maybe don't be the voice of the ad in which we talk about women betraying their husbands by injecting deceit into the marital relationship, because in the leftist view, marriages are not about honesty and talking about one's differences and agreeing to disagree on certain dicey issues, but they're about lying if you cannot persuade your spouse to believe as you do. And they believe this so strongly, you put it in an ad and ran it everywhere. The ad also portrayed Republicans as unattractive, bumpkiny, backward losers. And as it turns out, that's what even the sitting president of the United States thinks about them, that they're garbage. The possible next vice president, at least as of last week, Tim Walz, thinks they're Nazis. So she does speak for a large collective, and that collective has done this to her. I'm giving the bird to my listening audience. So Julia Roberts, yet another big loser, and her pal George Clooney, who did something similar for another ad, same. You got Joe Biden out. How'd it work out for you? How'd that go? Maybe you should have said something a little earlier, like when you attended that fundraiser and you and your buddies at Pod Save America saw he was totally incompetent and non-compos mentis, and you all STFU to try to save his political fortunes. Meanwhile, it was tick-tock, tick-tock. The clock was ticking. You blew it, and only when it was too obvious to deny did you say anything. So you, too, are a big loser, sir. Hope your billions are keeping you happy today, bringing you comfort. That brings me to the Lincoln Project. I mean, I might have to move them above Liz Cheney. I think I would, but they had no standing to lose. So I don't know, when you start off a bottom feeder and then you remain a bottom feeder, I don't know, can you go from like catfish to crab? I'm going to have to consult an oceanologist to find out, like, how does it work at the bottom of the ocean with the true bottom feeders? I have got to show you Rick Wilson. This is him, the day of the vote, with this star prediction on what was about to happen.
I have a couple of things to think about for tomorrow, everybody. Number one, Trump's going to lose. He's going to lose badly. He's going to be wrecked. I don't know what the electoral college count's going to be at the end of this, but it's going to get loud and it's going to get hard for him. Their panic is extraordinary. Their events in Georgia and North Carolina are basically about as well attended as a Pokemon card trading convention in Ass Crack, Alabama. This is a campaign in freefall. It's really, really fucked up. Donald Trump is now in the same position that he described Hillary Clinton in 2016. He's weak. He can't finish a sentence. He's sick. He's meandering. He's probably dying at this point. His party is splitting apart. Yes, you MAGAs, I know MAGAs, I know. You guys are so intense. You believe everything that he says, every word that comes out of his mouth. I get it that you believe that. But guess what? He's been lying to you all along about a lot of things, and you're about to realize it tomorrow. Now, I want to say something to you, Donald,
Rick.
and your little minions. And your whole enabling class of the sort of MAGA influencer class. Donald, if you try to steal this election tomorrow, and we know you're gonna try, I promise you one thing. You will die in prison alone. Your family will be broken. Every property you've ever owned will be taken from you. Your chance of dying in prison is going to go way, way up if you do what you think you're gonna get away with. It's not going to work this time. It's just not. You're going to be it's going to be very, very tough, Donald. I would be super careful if I were you. I think really hard about the fantasies some of these jackoffs around you are selling you. And I think really, really hard about some of the bullshit that you're selling yourself.
He took the Acela to crazy town. It was the day before the election. Those predictions are worth about the same as Ann Seltzer of the Des Moines Register, whose career is in tatters today. These guys should never be listened to about anything ever again. And it was not just Rick Wilson, who, by the way, is also part of that infamous Don Lemon clip with these Republicans with their maps. Okay. The hateful person. George Conway in The Atlantic. America did this to itself. This is his post-election rage. The man elected president last night is a depraved and brazen pathological liar. A shameless con man, a sociopathic criminal. A man who has no moral or social conscience, empathy, or remorse. He has no respect for the Constitution and the laws he will swear to uphold. And on top of all that, he exhibits emotional and cognitive deficiencies that seem to be intensifying. He says, my own hope and belief about what would transpire last night was sadly and profoundly wrong. Like many, I have the emotional and intellectual flaw, if that's what it is, of assuming that people are wiser and more decent than they actually turn out to be. I feel chastened, distraught about my apparently naive view of human nature. You see, that is the problem with the guys of the Lincoln Project. They overestimated us. They thought we were all smarter and more decent, and they've been reminded that we are dumb and disgusting and unethical. Okay, that's good luck winning the next election. It's not going to work out so well for you, George and Rick. Look, it went, the Don Lemon thing, that's another one. He did live stream. Somebody told me that there's a Lincoln Project live stream from during the election. We're checking right now. Don Lemon did a live stream during the election. Let's just take a look at how that went.
What is it in the female psyche in America that makes it harder for even women to believe that a woman should be president?
You know, there is a lot in our society right now where women do feel pressured or are in a certain mindset where they may not vote for their best. Oh God, I don't even want to say it. They may not vote as they wish, or they may vote against things that would be good for women.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Thank you. Hey, Political Sis, thank you for joining us. Sorry, look, it's that everyone is having a connectivity issue. So sorry about that.
That's okay.
Technical difficulties.
I was saying that I think within especially within my community that we really need to.
No, we're Democrats. We want everybody to have everything.
They can't hear each other.
Our problem is that we are too open-hearted in a world that clearly, when you look at the votes, are very kind of narrow in how they think and their worldview.
Let me jump in here, because I think this says, as I've been saying, this says more about America. This is what America wants. We keep saying America's not this, America's not that. The Republican Party's not this, the Republican Party's not that. It is. It is. The Republican Party is MAGA now. America is a racist, sexist country. Let's just face it. I mean, I don't believe that there is a lie there. So, I just don't. We have any lemon heads we can talk to?
Oh, I see. See, you guys wasted your time with me on a broadcast that now has over 4 million viewers. You should have been watching Don Lemon call you all racists and sexists and lemon heads, if you happen to be one of his fans, as they navigated through overwhelming technical difficulties, dings from other people's computers, weird voices in the background that were drowning out their message. I think it was God. I'm not going to lie. I think the Lord intervened to try to save his followers from that brain damage that he was inflicting on them. It's so fun to watch. I haven't even gotten to the New York Times article. This is too fun. I need to stay with this for another minute. Okay, while we're on the hysterical reaction, what kind of a discussion would be complete if we didn't go to our old friend Keith Olbermann and see how he's handling the news? Let's check in.
A note about this podcast: it will continue, but not right now.
Oh, God.
Going to take the weekend off. I do think the podcast has suffered from being a little conservative. It needs to be a little bit more pointed. It also needs to be not 5 days a week. I'm getting old here, and probably not daily. So let's say this. I'm still working on this. I'll bring you at least 2 of these a week, and definitely, let's plan on this, a new one every Monday morning. Does that make sense? I mean, you don't want to hear more about this any more than I want to talk about this endlessly. When something interesting happens, something you may not have heard, something that has struck some memory or perhaps some insight within me, I will bring it to you. Because bluntly, if the vice president had won, I was going to retire, or at least semi-retire. I can't do that now, God damn it. I mean, I need a nap.
Okay. So he throws out at the end he might have retired, but really he's not retiring, but he has to go from 5 days a week to 2 days a week because of Donald Trump. So there you have it. We are already making America great again. A little less of Keith Olbermann because of Donald Trump. If you are tired of the same old coffee from the big mega corporations.
Yes, everybody. School is canceled because people are suffering right now. Don't you get it? What is wrong with you people? Donald Trump is a fascist, and the only thing we can do is cuddle up with a teddy bear, get a nice hot tea, and put on reruns of The Office. I can't go to school. I can't work my job because I heard about a thing I don't quite understand. It's made me so angry. I imagine that's how they're thinking, but I'm going to say it like this. I got some videos for you to show you the meltdowns of these people. But by all means, please shut down your college campuses and tell everyone to go home because y'all are part of the problem. I can sit here and rant on the education system for 27 years. Let's call it institutionalized learning facilities, and at a certain level, you got to go into debt to attend your institutionalized learning facility in which you learn nothing and you come out broken and incapable of understanding the real world. And so for these people at Harvard, Harvard indeed. I think we actually have, do I have the other tweet pulled up already? Yeah, look at this. At Ohio University also canceled classes because they're breaking down. They can't handle it. Well, I know many of you want to hear the news. But before I play the news for you, I need you to hear from this young woman. Don't you understand the pain? Don't worry, I know. I'd love to just bring in the suspense. But I fear too many of you would take the video seriously because I would never just play a video of a woman screaming for no reason abruptly in my news reporting. But this one's really funny. So I hope you enjoy the next 25 seconds.
If you've lost faith in humanity, clap your hands. If you've lost faith in humanity, and this is your villain origin story, if you've lost faith in humanity, clap your hands.
pretty good. Can I play that again with one extra little tidbit? Here we go. Here we go. I saw this. I couldn't resist. Shout out to Stephen Hilton. He says, I fixed it for you. This is a real video. I'm assuming it's recent. I'm seeing all these compilations of young college liberal meltdown over Donald Trump's victory. And just the House of Pain remix for Jump Around was too good to pass up. I hope you guys had a good laugh, because here's the news from 11 hours ago from the Harvard Crimson. At 7 a.m. on Wednesday, Sophia R. Mamukari woke up to a phone call from her mom. And the news is that Trump had been reelected. I still had some hope that she was going to win by a small amount, and then I woke up this morning and that's not what happened. On election night, students gathered at viewing parties hosted by friends, house tutors, and Institute of Politics, and the Harvard Republican Club to watch the results. The next morning, it was a somber campus. When Samantha Holtz Googled the election's outcome, she said, my heart dropped a little bit. Being at Harvard, I was surrounded by a lot of people who were very pro-Harris, so in my mind, it was already a decided election. It was a little bit of a shock to me. Luke P. Kushner said he was really, really disappointed. Space to process. In Harvard's freshman dining hall Wednesday morning, Holtz joined a teammate to eat breakfast with college dean Rakesh Khurana. According to Holtz, Khurana told students to let yourself feel a bunch of emotions about how this is going to impact us in the future, and listen to other people and how they feel about it too. No, I say, I reject your psychotic weakness. And dare I must cite Andrew Tate. And I'll tell you why. Criticize the man all you want. Certainly he's got detractors on the right and the left. For a lot of things he said and done, don't care. He said something really important. I love this video from Andrew Tate. He said, a rocket ship to the moon doesn't stop halfway. It doesn't give up and take a break. It keeps going. And if you stop to take a break, you'll never make it to the moon. And I was like, that's actually a pretty good thing. You know, I don't listen to the guy regularly. I can understand why a lot of young men look up to him, despite all the accusations and everything against him. The message is clear. If you want to make it, you've got to be that rocket ship to the moon. But he also had another statement that and these are the ones that go viral. If you're truly paying attention, you'd understand why people like the guy. He said, when I wake up, it doesn't matter how I feel. I have a job to do. If I'm sad, if I'm happy, if I'm tired, it does not matter. I wake up and I do my job. I was like, wow, that's a good message. It is. I agree. I wake up some days, I'm dead tired. But I have a job to do. No one's telling me I have to do this. No one says, Tim, did you get your 10 a.m. video up yet? Nobody but me. Because I have a responsibility and I have a job to do. And only on rare occasions do I not. And that's the message. You see, with all of these people at Harvard, they're like, don't work hard, grieve. Over what? It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you feel. You have a job to do, to be your best. And these people don't deserve to work for our companies. I don't care if they want to go work at Starbucks or McDonald's or do whatever they do. But you want to know what? I'll tell you. Me? I'm not interested in hiring people who are so emotionally traumatized from things they can't understand and they can't work. But hey, no one ever accused the universities of being places of great success. I know, it's funny, right? Let me put it this way. Of course, universities serve some purpose. But if you're stupid enough to pay them money and then cry because Trump won, then take the day off, they're sitting there laughing all the way to the bank. I tell you what, my friends, if you want to pay me to come doing work.
The Marxist Democrats and their Operation Mockingbird assets of the media are extremely confused over the majority of Americans rejecting Kamala Harris and embracing Donald Trump, despite everything they've thrown at him over the years. And they're especially confused over the number of Latinos, Americans, who oppose illegal immigration, even though the vast majority of the invaders are also Latino. They just can't get it through their thick skulls that just because someone else is the same race as them, that they would allow them to break our laws and look the other way because they're one of their brothers.
There are huge demagogic political movements in Colombia about the Venezuelans who are from next door. Pakistan just kicked out a whole bunch of Afghan refugees. Like, this idea of the foreigners are coming does not necessarily appeal to people's racial solidarity if they see the foreigner as different.
Right.
Because foreigners have different culture, different language, different ethics, and not everybody believes that diversity is a strength.
Can I just say that, you know, coming from an immigrant family, there is this sort of trying to be super American when people come here, because I know some.
Yes, it's called assimilation. That's what you're supposed to do when you come here.
Because I know some African immigrants who are all the way Trump. And it's this idea of I want to be with the side that's waving the biggest flag. I want to fit in. And there is a huge element.
No, because they're not communists. Many of the immigrants who've come here legally know what communism does and what it did to their countries.
To be honest, of anti-blackness in a lot of this, anti-black Americanness specifically. And Paula and I have talked about this, that there is a part of that anti-blackness is a piece of it. Even though Enrique Tarrio, who's the head of the Proud Boys, is a black Latino, but he's down with white supremacists, down with them.
The Proud Boys are not a racial group in any way, shape, or form. They are just a right-wing adult fraternity, no different than the old Moose Lodges.
And there's this idea that I'm black, but I'm not black. I may look black to you. I may be black if I'm walking through Bloomingdale's and get followed around. But in my mind, I'm identifying with whiteness because whiteness means privilege and it means not being a black American. This has to be unpacked because...
Actually, let's have Chris Rock unpack this as he did way back in the 90s, long before he tragically went woke.
Everything white people don't like about black people really don't like about black people. There's some shit going on with black people right now. There's like a civil war going on with black people. And there's two sides. It's black people and there's niggas. And niggas have got to go. Every time black people want to have a good time, ignorant ass niggas it up.
Hey, he said it, not me, but stay tuned because there's plenty more to come in this video. But real quick, you can save 20% on to figure. This is going to continue to head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out. This is going to continue to be a theme that the Democrats and the media struggle with as they try to figure out or come to grips with what happened this week. Posts like this where this guy just doesn't get why 45% of Latinos joined Trump. I don't know if that's entirely accurate. While running on a mass deportation campaign. I just don't get it, man. Well, let me break it down to you. Those are American citizens that just happen to be of a particular race. And many American citizens don't want foreigners from another country, regardless of their race, to invade us. And speaking of Latinos, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez did an Instagram live stream sounding like a lunatic, warning that we're now under fascism.
We are about to enter a political period that will have consequences for the rest of our lives. We cannot give up. We now find ourselves in a time in history that has precedent, and we find ourselves
spewing word salads without actually getting to the point. Come on, honey.
I believe in a time where there are, let's say, peers in history of mass movements of people that mobilize to protect one another in times of fascism and authoritarianism. And this is the era that we are poised to enter.
Let's be honest about this, okay? Let's be absolutely blunt about it.
That Kamala was a diversity hire and not qualified for any position whatsoever other than maybe working at Starbucks?
There were appeals to racism in this campaign, and there is racial bias in this country, and there is sexism in this country. And anybody who thinks that that did not in any way impact on the outcome of this race is wrong.
Excuse me, Van Jones, would you like to play the race card too?
Can you imagine a woman of color acting like Donald Trump acted, even for one day? The kinds of stuff that he said, the kinds of things that he did.
It would be great.
The way that he would insult people. If you're a person of color, you don't feel like you have that freedom.
To insult people?
You feel like you really are somewhat constrained.
Because, black women have been known to be so well behaved.
You're always running something in the back of your mind like, how?
Black people.
How am I going to be perceived? And also, if I say this, will they think that all black people are this way or all women are this way?
Well, they're going to go and look up the 13% to 50 crime statistics? Maybe.
So there's a license that he had to just be a fool.
His white privilege was the only reason why he was so brash. And in case you missed it, here's the moment that Fox News called Wisconsin for Donald Trump, putting him over the top, making him the president-elect, the next president of the United States.
The Fox News decision desk can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States.
Now, when I saw this, I didn't believe it because I thought it was too good to be true. I thought maybe they're going to be duped and then they're going to come out with some error and that would be used to discredit Fox News and conservative media. And it took hours before MSNBC and CNN and the other liberal media outlets finally came to grips with reality and then also called Pennsylvania and Wisconsin for Donald Trump.
The former president's comeback will be complete with a win in Wisconsin, a state that he narrowly lost 4 years ago. He is now the second president in U.S. history to win non-consecutive terms. The first was Grover Cleveland in the late 1800s. Senator J.D. Vance will become the 50th vice president.
And then president in 2028. And now would be a good time to save 20% off of your Teflon Don shirt, your MAGA Mafia shirt, or any of my awesome designs from markdesk.com.
Raise your hand if you think President Trump's policies on the economy would be better for your family personally.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. Hey, I missed the election results last night. Can you please show me a meme to explain what happened? Yeah, of course I can. I got you, chat. Here you go. Pretty simple. Kamala Harris was destroyed. Ladies and gentlemen, here's another meme, just for fun. Why not? Elon Musk just posted this meme. Let that sink into the Oval Office. Whew. Remember how Joe Biden and the regime wouldn't invite Elon Musk to the electric vehicle summit, even though he invented the electric vehicle? Yeah, this one's going to sting. Here we go, baby. But what would a night like tonight, with Donald Trump winning in a landslide victory, Donald Trump at 286, Donald Trump will get 300 electoral votes, okay? When it's all said and done here in Michigan and in Arizona. What would tonight be without some left-wing meltdowns? Because you know, we got to go there. You know it. Ooh, baby. You can see it. You can see it on their faces. Look at this. Look at this expression. Just the photos are enough. Just the photos are. It's demonic. Oh, baby. Yeah, it was a night. It was a real one for libs. And their salty, salty tears, they filled our cups. Here we go.
I believe Trump's actually going to win this fucking thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so pissed off. Fuck. God damn it.
Dude in a white, is he in a white dudes for hair shirt? It's perfect. It's perfect. Hang it in the simp Louvre. Hang it in the cuck Louvre, where Destiny belongs. Destiny is a left-wing streamer. Destiny was live on his stream screaming that he needed to get on the phone with who's ever in charge of Pennsylvania vote counting.
I mean, they're still outstanding. Are they not counting them here? What's going on, Vadim?
There you go.
I think I am.
Why isn't Philadelphia counting votes?
Call him up.
Call him. Do we have contact? Hello, if you're watching the stream right now and you work in Philadelphia, we'll put you on stream. I'll call you. I want to know what is going on. What the hell is going on right now? Send me pictures. I know you're out there. I know somebody's listening.
Wow, it's almost like, I don't know, there's some sweet karma when you disgrace Corey Comprentor and say that he deserved to die. This is, I mean, the fact that Destiny keeps getting booked on things after saying something like that, I'm not for cancel culture, but that is the most repulsive thing that it can be said about another human being. Corey Comprentor lost his life at a MAGA rally in Pennsylvania Destiny is a sick degenerate. And I'm so happy for your tears. Your salty, salty tears. They inspire me, in fact. Just like this individual who probably has a higher testosterone than Destiny.
Shut the f*** up for the communities. Let people know we won't go back. We won't go back. If y'all don't care about women's rights, then why come out here not enjoy it? We won't go back. I vote for the Democrat Party. We won't go back. Let's hear it. We won't go back. We won't go back.
The joy's gone.
I don't care. They don't care.
The joy's gone. Okay, so everybody is blackout drunk. Everyone's admitting they're blackout drunk, like on
we've
TV.
Been observing young voters, particularly male voters, who seem to be breaking for Trump. What's your take on that dynamic?
That would be surprising. I think that's another reason to drink. But I do think that I think
drinking
it's
alone,
pretty
John.
early. I think it's fine, and that's fine.
This is like the version of masculinity that the left sends out to young men and then wonders why young men delivered the White House to President Trump. Gen Z men and millennial men delivered the White House to President Trump. And then soy-filled men cried into their hands. You disgust me. You are not a man. You disgust me. This is Kamala Harris's party. Look at this. Look at this guy marched out there, teary-eyed. Lift that American flag off the ground, scum. Look at that. There you go. There's your tears. Yeah. That's right. I was surprised the American flag wasn't burned, actually. He's back. It's time. You have to go back. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be great. The Kamala Harris party was as entertaining as you could possibly imagine. This was my favorite part of the night, was the reporting out of this party and how people who attended Kamala Harris's party were getting actually sick.
Is still loud, but a little bit more subdued. And the word that I keep hearing, it must be some new phrase that has entered the lexicon, is the idea that people here are nauseously optimistic. Not just cautiously optimistic, but nauseously optimistic.
Gross, okay. Is that what you are? Is that what this is? This is nauseously optimistic. I'm nauseous looking at it. More reports from Kamala Harris's exciting party.
Yeah, Jake, let me just give you a gut check here about what we are hearing here as we've been sitting here reporting from the Harris headquarters. And I think the operative word right now is silence. There's not a lot being said because the Harris team appears to be searching for bright spots in the map as these results very, very slowly come in.
Searching for bright spots and also very aware of the warning signs throughout the electorate in Virginia, in Iowa.
Silence and nauseous. They're nauseous because, well, something does not make any sense with these election results. Meaning, where the hell did 20 million votes go? I'm going to ask, and I'm going to keep asking. Joe Biden got 81 million votes. Wow, 81 million votes. That's so important and so special for him. So why does Kamala Harris have 20 million less? And she's a terrible candidate, obviously. But you have to ask yourself, where the hell did they go? Look at this map.
You asked, are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we could show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
Literally nothing? Literally, this is the face of literally nothing. Actually, there's some great shots of Jake Tapper in here.
And they cashed in those votes last time. That was the problem. Can only do it once, apparently. All right, so that was the opening salvo of meltdown clips, soon to be much more condensed as we head into 4 a.m. here on the show. What did you think, Scott?
I mean, that's a good intro right there. Oh, I got the wrong headphones on again. Sorry. Yeah, very, very interesting. There was some good stuff in there. Okay, I found it very surprising that Keith Olbermann is backing down. He's throwing in the towel. Now, he said he was going to quit if Kamala won, but...
Stop teasing us, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave the field.
Yeah, I think he's...
Go back to ESPN. Didn't he come... Wasn't he a sports broadcaster once upon a time?
I feel like maybe there's something like that. But yeah, man, it's interesting to see, like, just not only the meltdowns, but the demoralization. I mean, I'm sure if Kamala would have won, it would have been the same on our side. But I feel like the energy would have been a lot different. I saw this one lady. She was like, "What? You guys are making a fool of yourselves." Like, yeah, I mean, if we would have lost, we would have just been like, getting dressed and going to work the next day. Yeah, that makes sense. So, it's crazy stuff. I'm excited for this. Excited to see what meltdown you got lined up, because we did a nice meltdown extravaganza last night on a bonus rebunked show, which was really fun.
All right, well, we'll see how many duplicates we get here in the set. And then LD, as we start going through these, unless it's a really good clip and it's short, as you identify duplicates, just scrub through them for the audience's benefit, so we can seem like we have a higher budget show than we really have. Daily Show. Colbert is in here.
I haven't seen this one yet. I've heard it.
Oh, it's epic, dude. It's epic. It's like, okay. I want to preserve it for sure. All right, so let's get into it. LD, press the magic buttons. Thank you so much.
Hey there. How are you doing? If you watch the show regularly, I'm guessing you're not doing great. Yeah, me neither. Today, some people said to me, "Sorry you have to do a show tonight," which is nice of them to say, but I don't have to do a show. I get to do a show tonight. I'm so grateful to be with all of these talented people, those people over here, those people that you'll never see, with the audience and the Ed Sullivan, with you people at home, because especially at times like this, what do we most want to be? Not alone. So thanks for being here. We're going to do a comedy show. It's a comedy show. We're going to do some jokes in just a minute, because that's what we do. And I'll let you in on a little secret. No one gets into this business because everything in their life worked out great. So we're built for rough roads. You guys ready? Are we cool? Okay. We're going to start the show now. And correct me if I'm wrong, Lewis. We usually start with a cold open?
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah. Do we have one?
Yeah.
We do? Great. Jim?
America's allies and its enemies bracing for a second Trump presidency.
It's an election millions around the world were invested in, even though they didn't have a vote.
NATO will be greatly diminished. I think our European allies will be very, very nervous.
I think leaders are bracing for what another Trump term could mean.
And now the world reacts to America's decision.
I'll be in my bedroom, making no noise and pretending that I don't exist.
Everybody come see us on tour. We'll be in Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. You want to watch MSNBC have a meltdown?
Yes.
So here's MSNBC melty. Here's Joe. It's basically just Joe Scarborough lying nonstop because of his meltdown. Here we go.
We still have an electorate, 70 million plus, that will be voting for a man who said he was going to assassinate for treason the chairman of the Joint Chiefs because he didn't support him on January the 6th.
Lie number one, ding.
said just in recent days he was going to execute Liz Cheney with a firing squad.
Okay, even Bill Maher admitted that that was a lie. And that you don't, if Donald Trump is so horrible, why do you have to lie about him? And they all just sit there and let him say it. They all know he's lying. Everybody at that panel knows he's lying, including himself. He didn't call for the execution of Liz Cheney. We all know that. He said if she's such a war hawk, she should have to pick up a rifle and go to war. Which is, guess who else you know used to say that? Hippies. Hippies say that. That's right. And every anti-war person in the world says that about a warmonger. Anyway, here we go.
9 guns pointed and shooting at her face. A man who has said that he was going to shut down CBS because he didn't like how they edited an interview.
Okay, so CBS News should have their license taken away for what they did. They edited an interview with a political nominee. They did it in a nefarious, evil, phony way. There's words I'm thinking I can't think of. What they did it in a deceitful. That's the word. They did it in a very deceitful way. To what? To swing an election. That's what they did. They aired propaganda that they edited themselves to swing an election. If they did that at the behest of Donald Trump, you'd be all screaming about it. Here we go.
Man who said he was going to be a dictator from day one.
Okay, that's also not true. So this is just one manufactured fear-mongering lie about Donald. Again, there's lots of ways you could criticize Donald Trump, but if he's so horrible, why do you got to make stuff up? And that's all they did. And people finally saw through it, I think.
A man who said he was going to terminate the Constitution, a man who said he was going to use the Army and he was going to use the National Guard on his political opponents.
Hey, guess who actually did that? Guess who used the justice system against their political opponents? The Biden and the Democrats. Isn't that wild? They actually did that. The thing that you're afraid that Donald Trump might do, they already did.
I literally could go on
making up shit all night long about stuff that we wish Donald Trump would say and do. I could make it up. And they all know he's making it up. As they prop up and support a person literally committing a literal genocide. I know I used literal twice there. But they're propping up a person committing a genocide. You know who isn't currently committing a genocide? Donald Trump. You know who is? Kamala Harris. You know who's committed to doing it in the future? Kamala Harris. Will Trump continue the policy? I don't know. But if he does, then we'll call him out, honestly. We won't make up lies about the person and excuse a genocide. If Donald Trump continues a genocide, we won't excuse it.
All day. And yet you talk to Trump voters and they'll go, he didn't say that. Wait, now I did.
Yeah, he didn't. That's the whole point. He didn't say any of that stuff. Because if he did, you'd show the video. Or you'd selectively edit it like you did when he said, oh, there's good people on both sides, which was also made up. And when people find out you're making all that stuff up, guess what it does? It makes them never believe you ever again. And then they vote Trump, and then you get to get here and sit there and lie and whine and cry about it all night. That's what's happening.
Hear him. And
I would love to go to TYT. Go to TYT and see what's going on.
Okay.
You say, well, here's the quote, and then they'll go, yeah, he didn't mean that. So there's
a panel of people. There's a panel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 people sitting there, and they all know he's lying and making stuff up, and not one of them will say anything. That's all prep. This is like what I was taught Russian media was like when I was a kid. This is what I was taught China media is like, and North Korean media. This is what I was taught. Turns out the biggest propagandists in the world are corporate media in the United States. Isn't that wild?
Far more long-lasting than just Donald Trump, the candidate. There is a sort of Russian embrace of
A Russian embrace of what?
Disinformation.
A Russian embrace of, after he just spewed a minute and a half of complete disinformation and lies about his political opponents. He says the people who actually got it right are embracing Russian disinformation, which is in itself disinformation. Up is down, black is white, in is out. This is 1984. That's George Orwell's 1984 on display right in front of your face. I still know people. I know people who still talk to me. Almost all the people I know in Hollywood think like that. They think that what they're seeing there is the truth. Almost all the people I know in Hollywood, almost all of them, they think that's the truth. And the people who know better don't say anything. Let's see if there's anything more to this.
A radical devaluing of truth.
Isn't that ironic? The irony there is it just drips from his mouth. The hypocrisy. Everything, and she knows it. Look at her face like, oh boy. The valuing of truth. That's what they've... Hey, I should show you... You remember when Joe Scarborough said that Joe Biden is at the top of his game, it's the sharpest he's ever been, and if you don't believe it, F you? This is the guy screaming about people devaluing truth. So, in a way, tonight is a real victory because you get to... their lies don't work anymore. That's why it's a victory. Let me see. Someone's... is there someone... Who's called...
But now history doesn't end. Time doesn't stop. Now we have the benefit of knowing, how this has gone in every other country that has been through a democracy to authoritarian transition. And sadly, there are a lot of them. We have the benefit of seeing what's happened in those other countries, though. And what we know is that the more ground the authoritarian takes, the harder it is to ever get that ground back.
The problem with this type of messaging is that a lot of people hear this kind of messaging and they think about it in the context of COVID, and they think about it in the context of the election results in 2020. And I think that kind of stuff happens and it ends up making people think that, oh, wow, well, you were doing the same thing. I actually think that the way that COVID was handled was probably the most damaging thing that's happened to the country since the Patriot Act. I'm trying to think of anything that's been that bad. I mean, maybe you could say Citizens United was also really, really bad. But yeah, it was terrible. I think that, yes, I think Citizens United, the thing is that a lot of people don't understand that. But I think the Patriot Act did actually erode a lot of trust. I think that COVID was that bad, if not worse. And I think the difference with the Patriot Act versus COVID is the idea that the government is spying on you or that the government can do something is different than the lived reality that everybody went through with COVID. What Citizens United, it basically said that corporations can be treated as people and they can disseminate information and money as a person would because they're a separate entity. It's much more complicated than that, but that's a very, very simple way of explaining it. That's probably a little bit inaccurate, but hopefully it was good enough.
And so the first order of business is to stop them from taking any uncontested ground right from the outset when it comes to what our system of government is and what our democracy is, right? From other countries' experiences that quickly, now, in the next few weeks, if not the next few days, they are going to start pushing to see how far the country is going to let them go without pushback, without protest. Mm-hmm. And part of this is because it's just psychologically advantageous for them to do this now, right? They're counting on the half the country that voted against them, the half the country that doesn't want to give up our system of government. They're counting on all those tens of millions of Americans to be despondent, to feel powerless, to check out.
Well, they are powerless. They lost the vote. That's what happens. it's that simple. Like, there's really not a lot more to it. Watching this as an outsider is so funny. Y'all are crazy with politics on God. Like, yeah, it's really something, isn't it?
Which, of course, would mean letting them do what they want, letting them run the table. What they really don't want is for the half the country that voted against them, the half the country that wants to keep our democracy. What they really don't want is for those tens of millions of Americans to wake up tomorrow feeling scrappy as hell.
What do you want them to do? You want them to go out and do another riot? Go out and commit crime? But let's go out. Let's start complaining. Maybe they can make some tweets in caps lock. Maybe that'll really do something different. January 7th. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, go out. Where's the nearest AutoZone? Why don't you go out and burn it down? That will stop. You know what? Nothing says democracy more than burning down an AutoZone.
Sure, regretful about the election outcome, but also, frankly, freed up from having to spend all of our time working on the election. So now we can work full time on being fricking pirates, on being a thorn in the side to anyone who now intends to.
You're going to be a pirate? Not a pirate. What are you talking about? Like, a pirate? Like, it's so stupid. Like, what do you mean?
Try to turn this country into some tin pot tyranny. What they want least of all is to realize that half the country went to bed sad tonight, but then woke up tomorrow fired up.
Can you imagine if Trump said this? Actually, I don't have to imagine it. Trump did say shit like this all the time, and people rightfully shit on him for it. Like, it's just, what do you mean? He did, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, boy. Why is anyone watching this insane person? Great question. Amazing question.
With a new sense of purpose, knowing that apparently this is what we're on this earth to do as American citizens in this generation. Because history did not just end. Time did not just stop. We just got marching orders from the universe and the Electoral College that as of today, American citizens who do want to hold on to democracy.
Trump won, and it's fair to say they're not taking it very well.
Can't be real.
Over on TikTok, it's not so much cry me a river, more like cry me the Atlantic Ocean.
I'll be in denial. All right, guys, it's time to go to bed. What in the Alice in Wonderland nightmares is going on right now?
Will they finally learn that calling half the country racist misogynists isn't a successful political message?
America was not ready for a female black president, and that is what I was worried about. Because the country is full of racist misogynists.
Turns out, no.
And you voted for Trump, a felon, over Kamala because she was a woman. You're disgusting. You're disgusting. What is wrong with you? How the fuck are we back in this same situation again? Who the fuck is voting for him?
The majority of the voters in the country voted for him, that's who. You know, Americans. Looks like we're also about to witness the return of the screaming. Can someone check in on Harry Sisson? He looked quite smug before the election.
Got it.
Not so smug now.
And
Harry's terrified about Trump's win being a threat to women.
America failed women tonight.
After just voting and campaigning for a candidate who literally wants men in women's sports and bathrooms. Cenk before the election. If you think Trump is going to win easy tomorrow because everyone you know on X is on his side, you've got a rude awakening coming to you tomorrow. The real world ain't X. Cenk after the election.
Loss after loss after loss. Fire them all! Fire them all!
Turns out the real world is X. White dudes for Harris are used to taking a submissive role, but nothing quite like this.
I can't believe Trump's actually going to win this fucking thing! Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm so pissed off! Fuck! God damn it!
MSNBC's Jen Psaki failed to learn anything from Dems getting trounced, pushing the same tiresome glib message about disinformation.
I think this is a big, huge part of the story that it's hard to even digest fully at this moment. But you have Elon Musk, who owns Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days, X, who is a disinformation propagandist and now has could potentially have a direct line to the Oval Office.
This from the same network that triumphed the credibility of the Seltzer poll, which showed Harris winning Iowa by 3 points. Literally a form of disinformation propaganda. Trump ended up winning Iowa by 14 points. But go on, lecture me for the billionth time about disinformation propaganda.
Disinformation propaganda.
To his credit, Jon Stewart struck a very different tone, insisting that instead of demonizing Trump supporters, pundits and Democrats need to take a long look in the mirror, while also asserting in a direct message to pollsters, I never want to effing hear from you again. Thanks to Ground News, the sponsor of today's video, which you can check out at ground.news/PJW via the link show them they might news/PJW, or scan the QR code is the one I use as my small purpose.
We have this.
He's suddenly decided that the electoral college system was no longer fit for purpose.
We have this very funky and terrible system called the Electoral College, which decides elections in a way that's totally different than every other election in the United States decided, and the way that anything's decided anywhere else in the world. We should scrap it.
Well, good job that Trump won the popular vote too then, eh, Chris? Meanwhile, over on CNN, it's getting testy.
The economy was so great. That's not the point I'm making. The point, don't look at me like that.
Jake Tapper, probably the biggest media lobbyist for Biden to be replaced by Kamala, got a cold, hard dose of reality.
So you asked, are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we could show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
The host of the UK's biggest political podcast, centrist neolib cook Rory Stewart, Kamala Harris will win comfortably. Someone frame that tweet for me, please. And while you're at it, frame this as well. Just Stop Oil climate lefties sprayed the US Embassy in London orange to reject fascism. Fascism being when someone they don't like overwhelmingly wins a democratic election. Kamala Harris is so deflated she's mimicked Hillary Clinton's 2016 response by going into hiding.
So you won't hear from the vice president tonight?
But we hilariously learned that her campaign was so crushed by the results coming in.
They say the atmosphere there was like a funeral.
They muted all the TVs besides the ones talking about the states where Kamala won.
But as the night progressed and they watched the returns come in, no more waving flags. In fact, they asked for the television to be muted here with the returns, with the exception of Hawaii, Colorado, other places that Harris won. They turned them on and got cheers for that. Instead, they blasted music to try to sort of distract from the situation.
Which is the political equivalent of sticking your fingers in your ears and going, hey, I'm not listening. Trump's back, MAGA's back. And thanks to the greatest political comeback in history, against all the odds, there's finally hope for America and the world.
They're back! The liberal meltdowns have only just begun. The denial, the rationalization, the memory holding of what the liberal media and the Democrat Party did or tried to do to America. But first, subscribe to my channel if you're new here. We're almost at 1.9 million subscribers, and check back on a regular basis. There are countless clips like this, so I'll just show you a highlight of some of the best, like this young woman.
This is all pretty great. Like we're just gonna wake up tomorrow morning and everything's gonna go back to the way it'll be a psych. It'll be like a really bad dream, and none of this will have ever happened.
They're crying into their phone and then posting it on the internet for the entire world to see.
Right? Like it'll be like the first time, and then we're all gonna pull through fine in 4 years.
But wait, there's more.
Correct? Please, someone tell me. I can tell you one thing right now, marriage is the farthest thing from on the table currently. So they screwed the pooch on that one if they thought that any of this was going to actually help with the whole family and kids department and lowering birth rates, because not even. Any semblance of thoughts I had or hope for that is completely going to be a no thanks for me, love. You think I would ever even dare bring a child into this country now? It was rough before. Now? No.
Well, some lucky guy out there dodged the bullet on this one. Thank you, Donald Trump.
Y'all want to violate my stuff? I don't give a f about none of that, because all the people that's violating my freaking live right now are Trump supporters.
I think she's complaining about the comments on her Instagram live. Those who are violating my live? Or is she saying violating my life? I can't really understand this jive talk.
Y'all the only ones happy about this shit right now. Y'all the only ones. Y'all see I got my blue on. I done cried so much that my blue went up. And I have to wear red because this is my freaking job. If I didn't have to wear this stupid ass color, I wouldn't be wearing it. Trust and believe me.
Believe that, yo! This gender non-binary TikTok astrologer is perhaps the most shocked because, well, this carbon-based life form obviously should have been able to foresee the future if astrology wasn't just complete lunacy.
For the astrology girlies, I just want to know, I have been studying Kamala's charts, and it looks like she is not only going to win, but she is going to be winning a second term the next 8 years, and her chart looked really, really strong. Trump's not so much.
Okay, so I was wrong. A lot of astrologers were wrong. A lot of us were wrong.
All of you are lunatics.
But if you think that right now is the time to tell me that you don't believe in astrology, who gives a f about astrology right now, dude? Who literally cares about that?
Morons do.
That is like the least of our worries. This is my career. I have built a life off of reading the stars for people and getting it right.
And you just botched perhaps the biggest outcome in American history. This carbon-based life form may take the cake for the most unhinged, however.
I'm sorry. No! Why? Why? Do you really hate me that?
Cougar over at the Young Turks, the Young Jerks.
These Democratic leaders are simpletons. They're servants of the donor class. So they go in there, they're like, oh, donor, give me money, please. And I made an ad. I'm Kamala Harris. I'm full of joy.
See, his shtick is that the Democrats aren't far enough left. And so he attacks them and then has attracted an audience of absolute lunatic far leftists. And like all on the left, he accuses others of what he himself is guilty of. Although in this case, he actually is correct about the Democrats being grifters. But then obviously he himself is one and either is in denial about it or just a clever con man. I'm going with option A.
Okay, well, what did that get you? And they say, oh, Jake, you're too angry. Too angry? What? You think, does Donald Trump look like he's kind? Does he look like he's in a good mood? I mean, no, people want some sort of reaction from their politicians. They want them to represent them, to fight for them. But
are those tears I'm starting to see well up in his eyes?
That has never occurred to a Democrat outside of Bernie Sanders, and probably we never will. So we have, look, I have no interest in listening to a single Democratic politician ever again.
Well, sir, that's one thing that we can both agree on, with the exception of the next few days and weeks as we continue to monitor the meltdown. Here are the old bags on The View.
So,
How you feel? I'll start. Yeah, go ahead. My takeaway is that the system works.
Notice that they're pretending that they weren't completely unhinged, that this isn't the rise of Adolf Hitler, as they had been saying for the last 2 weeks, non-stop. Now it's just democracy working, and it's an amazing comeback.
We live in a democracy. People spoke. This is what people wanted. I vehemently disagree with the decision that Americans made, but I feel very, very hopeful that we have a democratic system in this country. We should value it. We should love it.
But I thought Donald Trump's victory was going to undermine our democracy. Now she's celebrating it. Of course, there are renewed calls to censor or regulate, as the Democrats say, social media, because thankfully we were able to beat Operation Mockingbird this time around.
I'm surprised at the results, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country.
Notice her racist in-group preferences, not Kamala's policies, which were garbage, not her qualifications, which were none, only because of her race and her gender, a typical DEI hire.
And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
That wasn't the clip that I was thinking of. This is the one, and this will be a recurring theme now for the next, well, for eternity.
Well, it would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is D.C. and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
Rogue corporations, meaning Elon Musk buying Twitter and thankfully loosening the rules. And again, still not free speech, it's freer speech. You know, he finally has come around quite a bit. He did restore Alex Jones after about a year of taking over. And still some other people, Gavin McInnes had to start a new account. His account wasn't restored. And others like Jared Taylor still haven't been restored. But Conservative Inc. folks aren't going to go to bat for him because they don't want to be labeled racist. Should we look at a few more libs on TikTok melting down? I think we shall.
How did we get here? How did we get here? What in the Alice in Wonderland nightmares dare you?
Other than Kamala, and you live in one of the states that it was, close, or if you didn't vote, you.
Taylor Lorenz, remember her, who broke down at the tears after she got some mean comments after she doxed the woman who runs the Libs of TikTok Twitter account. She posted a picture of the infamous pussy hat saying, "All right, ladies," which is actually sexist. It should be, "All right, people of all genders and no gender. Who's ready to break these back out?" Certainly not old Joe, that's for sure. Remember when he donned a MAGA hat, which then sparked this meme? Thank you, Joe, for all you've done for us, especially that October surprise, calling us all garbage. And by the way, the famous Liberal Tears mug, which I debuted after Donald Trump's victory in 2016, is back in stock in my online store at markdice.com. So head on over there or click the link in the description below and check it out.
Did you guys notice that the pussy hat is a double-sided Liberty cap? Did you guys happen to notice that? Whoa, dude.
I think we had one more video. My mistake.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty red last night. I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed.
This is like, I bet this episode is their highest viewed episode that they have ever and will ever have. Everybody was probably waiting for this.
I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could.
They can't stop.
It had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
I'm obviously very disappointed. I'm very sad. I have no regrets. I worked hard as hell to elect the first Black Asian.
Man,
woman president. History slipped through our fingers again, and I make a commitment to our LGBTQ, to our immigrants, to our elderly, to our young girls, to the women that
They can't stop.
we will not stop fighting.
Why should they stop? Because it's working less and less every single time. Identity politics do work, but they also work in an opposite way. They will alienate the people that, are the opposite identity.
Well, it would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is DC and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
It's not going to get any better with Elon Musk now in the administration.
Now they want to regulate social media. Do you remember what I said? They don't want fairness. They want control.
Can we not let Fox News off the hook, please?
I don't understand.
And
Fox News.
and all the fake news that's been going out there. One of the things that we need.
How are you talking about fake news whenever all y'all thought that you were going to win? If you thought you were going to win, what does that make what you were reading?
Kids I brought this up before, I'm going to bring it up again. In Finland, kids in nursery school are learning to discern between fake news and real news. Yeah. They should be teaching that in this country.
If they did that, no one would watch your show.
Well, I want to dig further into the demographics, because black women tried to save this country again last night. 92% of black women voted for the vice president. You have Latinas in the 70 percentile voting for the vice president. What we did not have is white women who voted about 52% for Donald Trump, uneducated white women. You have Latino men actually
They just can't stop talking about identity. It is insane.
And black men was not the story. We're not the story here, because they voted almost 80% for the vice president. Right. So why do you think that uneducated white women voted against their reproductive health freedoms? And why do you think Latino men voted in favor of someone that's going to says he's going to deport?
What's insane about this? People expect that there is this implication that if you're Latino, you have some sort of obligation to vote for illegal immigrants or for some sort of immigration policy. But they're not Latino, they're Americans. They're going to have their best interests in mind and the best interest of the country that they live in. That's a Mexican, so he should be okay with immigration because where'd he come from? That's basically what they're saying. It's insane. It's so on the nose racist that I'm astonished that this has become the mainstream platform.
They say, oh, she should have done this, she should have done this. She did what she did. She was everywhere.
Scott, can you help me clarify something?
Of course.
There's been a lot of talk in these clips, and in these clips you're about to hear, about reproductive rights, how Trump's going to take away your reproductive rights. Is Trump keeping people from fucking?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Is he keeping people from getting pregnant?
No, I don't think so.
That's reproduction.
No.
What is the other thing they're talking about? Because it's not reproductive rights. I think it's a misnomer that should be called out. If I was a Republican consultant, I would say something like that. Fair and balanced.
Very
it's
good
not
observation.
reproduction.
Yeah.
It's actually the right to amputate, maybe. If I was thinking Democrat side, we could come up with some friendly phrasing for it, but it's definitely not reproduction. Reproduction's untouched. What you want to do after you reproduce is the question. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's
the only way that they can even engage in the argument is by mischaracterizing all of it and just gaslighting
otherwise we might all
gaslighting
we'd all agree.
themselves. Yeah, they have to gaslight themselves in order to even just believe what they believe.
So they have an immune system for the toxicity. It's like they have a toxin, and the toxin has an immune system to keep it from being brought into contact with the antidote.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to see that coming up in these clips. I just wanted to establish that.
It's the truth-brain barrier. They have a truth-brain
The truth-brain barrier.
Yeah.
You know, there's like fruit of the poison tree. These people have had water from the poison well. Mm-hmm. And maybe there's no coming back from it. But I like to think the antidote of knowledge of reality can break through some of those illusions. But ask yourself as you go through these clips with us, would just a simple explanation or some evidence work in the case of these upcoming examples of social media? You know, we didn't go into their houses. We didn't catch them in their backyards, in their hammock, in their flower gardens. They posted these to social media for people to see in the future. So I'm just helping them out. It's an olive branch, you might say. Let's go to this might be the last block of tonight's show. It's a big block. Let's check it out.
The 2024 presidential meltdowns continue, but it's not just young women on TikTok who are recording themselves crying and screaming and then posting it on the internet for us to enjoy. It's also mainstream media anchors as well, who are still in shock. But just like after the assassination attempt, when they tone things down for about a week or two, they will get back to their regularly scheduled programming of declaring Donald Trump is Hitler. They won't be able to help themselves. But for now, we're blessed with headlines like this from the New York Times: Trump's America. Victory changes nation's sense of itself. That's right. This is Trump country. But before we get into all that, subscribe to my channel for new here and check back on a regular basis. This poor girl doesn't think she's ever going to be able to go to work again because Kamala Harris lost.
How am I supposed to go to work?
Wait for it.
How am I supposed to go to work and do all of my normal daily activities when I know that we all just chose for things to get exponentially harder?
Or harder, meaning you're not going to get free handouts from the Democrat Party and they're not going to forgive your student loans. So yeah, you better get your butt to work, young lady.
This is a message to anyone who follows me. If you voted for Trump, unfollow me and block me. If you didn't vote, unfollow me and block me.
Oh.
The fact that it's this close means I've lost all hope in the American people. Like, it should not be this close. Why would anyone vote for this person? He's so evil. He's so demented. Kamala's not perfect. We all know that.
She's a complete moron. And birds of the feather flock together.
Is anyone else having a meltdown?
Yes, they are. And thankfully, for our enjoyment, instead of them calling some of their girlfriends on the phone and talking like normal people used to, they are recording themselves melting down on the phone and then sharing it with the entire internet.
I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to wait. I'm so stressed. How you can't look out into the world, into the people of this country and see what's happening.
We're making America great again. That's what's happening.
And how hard we're all fighting for rights not to be taken away.
What rights?
I personally think that if all of these men are voting to take our rights away, they don't deserve to touch a woman for the next 4 years. So, hope you thought that through, you guys.
Thank you for this public service announcement, because Donald Trump voters would be best to definitely stay away from you and your kind.
All I have to say is good luck getting laid. Especially in Florida.
Where Florida actually went for Donald Trump, meaning that the majority of citizens there support the MAGA agenda. I don't think they'll have any problem.
Because me and my girlies are participating in the 4B movement. That's my next plan. And I'm dead f***ing serious.
The 4B movement is a feminist idea where they refuse to date men, to get married, or to sleep with them, or to have children. So basically, it's a bunch of lesbians.
America, how can you do this to us again? What the f***? How are we supposed to live another 4 years like this? What the hell? What did you do to us?
I don't know if this one is a troll or if this one is being sincere, but the fact that it's impossible to tell the difference shows just how whacked out these people are. A lot of people are sharing this online thinking that it's an authentic white dudes for Harris, but this is a known old school YouTube troll named Boogie2988. But this is entertaining, but this is just staged.
I can't believe Trump's actually going to...
The libs from TikTok melting down, and then we'll get into the news anchors' reaction, who are supposed to be professional and maintain their composure.
I was just walking down the street to go get my medication because I'm out and I need it for today.
I'm sure psychotic medication.
And I saw a woman walking her 2 kids, and she had this look on her face. And I looked at her, we made eye contact, and we both kind of nodded. Like we were both...
crazy?
Just devastated. And you could just tell in her eyes.
She saw the nose ring and the haircut. She's like, oh yeah, this is one of those. retards of the feather flock together. Okay. But it's not just young feminists who have been duped by the multi-billion-dollar information warfare machine into breaking down into tears. Here is Kamala Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, and his daughter, Ann Tampon Tim, who is surprisingly maintaining his composure a little bit better. As you can see, Ms. Emhoff, or whatever Doug's pronouns are, is breaking down. Here's a clown news anchor on site as the mentally enslaved awaited Kamala's concession.
It has almost a funeral-like vibe. Despite the music that you hear playing in the background, people are very somber, and especially the young people. This is their first experience with the campaign in some cases, and their very first experience with a really tough loss.
I would add your co-anchor to that list because obviously he's having a really tough time as well. But not as rough of a time as this guy. I didn't catch his name, but I sure hope that MSNBC welcomes him back.
This says more about who we are as a country and this moment, that this overqualified African-American mixed-race woman did not win this race, and she lost it to a man who is a felon.
From trumped-up charges, no pun intended.
Who tried to overturn the will of voters in a free or fair election. You talked about the House.
Here's an MSNBC weekend host whose name isn't worth remembering, who they brought onto the panel on election night, trying to come to grips with his new reality, or whatever this carbon-based life form's pronouns are.
What was it, 6 hours ago, I was mystified by what was going on. And now I can't help but think that if this election seems to be, if it proves out that the millions of people who are watching Fox News, if that ends up being the case, then...
If Kamala loses, you mean? Yeah, she did.
I can't help but wonder if the American people have given up on democracy.
No, actually, we just saved it just in the nick of time, which is why one of the talking points that they're going to be repeating from now until eternity is that they need to regulate social media because thankfully Elon Musk bought Twitter and loosened the rules, allowing freer speech on the platform, which really set them off.
I think this is a big, huge part of the story that it's hard to even digest fully at this moment. But you have Elon Musk, who owns Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days, X, who is a disinformation propagandist and now has could potentially have a direct line to the Oval Office.
You mean the Democrat Party wasn't able to control Twitter this election like they did in 2020, blocking the Hunter Biden laptop story and then suspending major media outlets like the New York Post for reporting on it? And just like in 2016, before they came up with the Russia hoax and Russians spreading fake news on social media, which duped people into not liking Hillary, of course, they were saying that it was just sexism. And so since they're always a broken record, they are rehashing that talking point.
I just say, Rev, really quickly, too. Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest.
That they're disinformation agents and that they sunk so low that they sounded like a schizophrenic homeless person ranting about the end of the world, even though they're billion-dollar brand name outlets.
And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men. It's misogyny from Hispanic men. Right. It's misogyny from black men, things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman as president of the United States. You know,
Actually, I think Donald Trump did better with women this time around than he did in 2020. Just like he did better with the Latinos and the blacks than he did in 2020 and in 2016, despite now 8 years of the Operation Mockingbird assets smearing him as a racist 24/7. But Joy Reid, the angry black woman over on MSNBC, thinks that Kamala Harris's campaign was perfect.
Let's just be clear. And nothing that was true yesterday about how
flawlessly this campaign was run is not true now. I mean, this really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign. She had Queen Latifah never endorses anyone. She came out and endorsed. I mean,
wow, a bunch of celebrities endorsed her, but the bimbo couldn't even answer a basic policy question, even after being asked about it on 2 or 3 different shows. There's going to be plenty more meltdowns to come, so be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're new here and check back on a regular basis. And by the way, my liberal... Should we take a look at some more of the feminist liberal meltdowns? I think we shall.
I am feral today. Feral! If you see me, keep walking. Do not make eye contact. Do not square up at me. Don't act like you know me. Like, I want to eat, like, maybe they voted for Kamala, but, like, I want to eat them right now. Like, I want to take a bite out of those glutes in a bad way.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is there's a blue bracelet that we need to wear because I want to make sure that nobody ever thinks that I am one of the apparently majority of white women who voted for Donald Trump. I do not want you ever to think that I was one of them. So, is there a particular bracelet? Do we just make it ourselves? Let me know. Send me a link. What do we do?
I'm going to get drunk today, and I'm going to act like an angry black woman because I'm angry. I'm mad. I'm upset. I'm angry as bro. I'm angry. I'm hurt. My feelings are hurt. We always finish last. We always come last to everybody, even our own men. And you niggas mamas be black.
I'm so glad you guys got your cheap ass groceries and your cheap ass gas, because you're broke as shit. You're broke. You're broke. Broke. I said I'm being serious. You're broke.
I think the hardest part of all of this is just like thinking about all the men who were just like, the economy, woman in my life. The economy, woman in my life. The economy.
What the
What the hell? That's not okay. This is not okay. This simply will not do. And this is not okay. And I'm not good with this. This is sick. This is sick. That should not be there. And it's wrong. And you're wrong. And everything is wrong.
Why would anyone record themselves crying and then post it on the internet to share with the world? Notice there is a pattern amongst most of these. They tend to be young feminist women.
I always knew that America hated women. I knew America hated women, that we weren't seen, we weren't heard, we weren't valued. I knew American women hated women.
Oh no, when you walk down the street, honey, people see you.
I just did not know how much we were truly hated until this morning. This country, America, is a shithole. It's garbage. Talk about a floating island of garbage. Jesus Christ. You all would rather put a rapist and a felon in our White House. I hate all of you just as much as you hate us. F you.
Donald Trump is president, and I think all women should stop having sex for the next 4 years. In protest and protection of your bodies. As we know, if that little baby inside you gives you any trouble and you need an emergency health care, you're
No, actually, those procedures are allowed, but it is a good idea for you and other women to close your legs until you're married. This guy added a soundtrack to his cry-a-thon.
It's like an angel's sign.
What is wrong with you? This one, I'm not sure if this is actually real or if this is just a troll making fun of these people or just doing engagement farming. But again, the fact that it's impossible to tell proves just how insane these people are, because it could be 50-50. This actually could be a legitimate woman who is recording herself telling her small children how terrifying it is now that Donald Trump has been reelected. Or it could be a troll just doing engagement farming. Who knows?
Harris did not win.
Who won?
Trump. So
they're hyperventilating.
Take a breath. Yep.
Take a breath.
So today may look a little different at school. Okay, there are probably going to be friends who have questions, right? I'm sure your teachers are going to
still teach reading, writing, and arithmetic, and hopefully not tell the kids that fascist takeover has happened in America. If this is a real video and these parents are scaring their children like this and then recording it and posting it online, they should be arrested. Aside from blaming white supremacist Latinos and white people in general for Donald Trump winning, the media is honing in on Elon Musk buying Twitter because he allowed further discussions to occur there. Then in 2020, remember when they banned the Hunter Biden laptop story and locked out the New York Post and other major media outlets? So Russian disinformation was blamed in 2016. Now it's Elon Musk owning Twitter.
We have now let misinformation become the accepted information.
Well, that's why I'm here, trying to stop you.
It has washed over us. Elon Musk, he buys Twitter, and then he uses it almost exclusively to be a propaganda machine, and we've accepted it. We've accepted a narrative that despite an actually great economic recovery, the vibes don't feel good.
Oh, just the vibes of millennials and Zoomers not being able to own homes, rent skyrocketing, the cost of groceries and gas and everything else just through the roof. The trusted mainstream media has been telling us that the economy's great. I mean, what are you going to believe, them or your lying eyes? It must have been because Elon Musk bought Twitter.
And the person we are now betting on to change all of it is Donald Trump, a man who did two almost impossible things.
He survived the countless lawfare attacks you've been waging against him, and we were able to override Operation Mockingbird and convince the majority of Americans to vote him in. Too bad.
It would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is D.C. and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
It's not going to get any better with Elon Musk now in the administration.
She means the Democrats in Congress haven't been able to repeal the First Amendment yet. Well, too bad. And now would be a good time to save 20% off of your Teflon Don shirt. We could do compilation clips of the liberal lunatic meltdowns, particularly the feminists on TikTok, every day for the next 4 years. But we'll just celebrate a few more through the weekend, and then we'll maybe move on to a little more serious news. But here are some of the more unhinged of the bunch. Very smart. Break your own TV.
Do it. Really? Yes. Yeah. That TV and that do it. I'll buy
So, now that the orange turd has won, we should now rename America Hell, because it is going to be hell on earth once they strip everyone's rights away that is no straight white cis man. So buckle up. Hope you freaking Republicans are happy. I'm out of here.
Hi guys. This video has been done a few times for me because I'm struggling myself, and I know there's others that are struggling as well as of the election results currently. Why, yes, every vote still needs to be recounted and everything else. Nothing is officially, but it is official. I just want to let you all know that if you need to talk, I will be available to talk. If you want to talk to other family members or anything,
have a bottle of wine, an entire bottle of wine. It's okay. Having ice cream.
If you saw yesterday's video about the feminist meltdowns, there was a woman who thinks that there's a new trend on TikTok where the feminist women are going to start wearing blue bracelets to differentiate themselves from normal women. And this one probably hasn't heard about that yet. So instead, to be able to identify normal people, she wants us to just wear our MAGA hats wherever we go.
I say we pass a law that requires anyone who voted for that orange piece of shit to wear their Trump hat 24/7.
Anything else?
Because conservatives are dangerous.
No, what would be dangerous is actually wearing a MAGA hat outside in most areas of the country, or many of them, especially now.
So I'm liking what I'm hearing about the blue friendship bracelet movement, but I personally want something more permanent, more serious. I'm wholeheartedly devoted to what I believe in, and that's love. So can we come up with a tattoo and placement of that tattoo to mark ourselves, to identify ourselves to other women and men who share our values, who know that we are a safe person to be with? I will gladly get this agreed upon tattoo. I'd like to get it today, but I'm sure we can't agree that quickly.
And well, just a generation ago, this would have been a comedy skit on Mad TV or Saturday Night Live or In Living Color. This carbon-based life form is being 100% serious.
Good morning. It is November 7th, Thursday. And got my lipstick on today, so I'm a little bit more together. We're putting a plan together. I cannot live in a country that voted for Trump. I cannot spend another 4 years under that man.
Thank you.
And so we have made the decision that we are leaving.
Yes.
We're putting a plan together. Our plan is to go back to Australia. And by back, that is where obviously Tam and our daughter Jordan was from. I'm working on immigration paperwork for spousal visa. I'll probably end up going over on a tourist visa initially because
All right, just save us the sob story and get out. This woman, however, may be the most delusional of them all. While she's not screaming and crying or hyperventilating or even wearing a nose ring, which seems to be the new signifier that these creatures wear to identify one another, she posted this rather lengthy video. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, detailing her plan for how women can survive the Trump administration.
I'm sorry. Don't get pregnant right now. I'm sorry. It's your life. You do what you want. My advice to you for your safety is to not get pregnant right now. I am not going to get pregnant right now, even though I would love to have a family one day. That dream just went out the window forever. Unless I move to another country, I am not having a baby in the United States. I won't do it.
Thank you.
Another thing that you may really disagree with, but I'm going to tell you anyway because I care about you and I want you to be safe. If you and your male partner voted differently this election, if he voted for that man, you need to leave him. You need to leave him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You need to leave.
Yes, please do him a favor and get out of his life. And men, what are you doing marrying liberal women anyway? Yesterday on The View, the old bags were bickering about The Usual. And that show, by the way, is the most watched daytime talk show on television. And surprisingly, one of the panelists had the light bulb go off in her head. She's a rhino, and she knows that one of the reasons that people voted for Donald Trump is because of the border crisis. And she tried to tell her fellow panelists, but they just still are too far deranged to understand.
And finally, we talk a lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border.
It's
the border crisis is on their doorstep.
So
and they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh my gosh, it's Whoopi.
Whoopi had to shut her down because they can't allow the audience to actually hear about what really happened. This other angry black woman, who is a teacher at a public school somewhere, recorded a video of herself lecturing her students, who are all black, telling them that because Donald Trump is now going to be the next president again, and a black woman didn't get the job, the DEI hire, that their lives are now ruined.
Unfortunately, because of the color of your skin, you gotta be 3 times as good.
3 times.
We don't have time for this anymore. I don't have time for interruptions. I don't have time for y'all to be unfocused, because y'all need to get y'all educated. This matters. And I gotta make sure that y'all are prepared to be 3 times as good. To step into any room and understand that you belong to be there. It's serious.
I'm serious, yo. Joy Reid on MSNBC told me so. And I've been trying to tell you to order some shirts from my online store, markdice.com, and
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Now, this is a really interesting concept. You know how I've been saying the last couple of days that Democrats seem to be lacking the ability to look at themselves critically? They can't admit what's wrong, what's not working, and so they're doomed to make the same mistake over and over. They're not assessing the problem properly. They're taking more of the "we're not the problem, America's the problem" approach. Or it was Joe Biden's fault. Oh, all those misogynist Latino men and self-hating white women. I mean, that seems to be the approach, rather than realizing it was the rhetoric and whatnot, and the lack of messaging.
Where they don't have an ultra-restrictive abortion law, they were voting more because they're like pocketbook issues matter more than if a woman in Alabama is able to get an abortion.
But they're going to do worse under a Trump administration. The only people that are going to do well are the millionaires and the billionaires.
And finally, we talk a lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border.
It's
the border crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not.
You know, it just seems as though they're just not getting it. They've completely lost the plot. They're out there in outer space. Well, now building on these concepts, I noticed something quite interesting in a media clip the other day that kind of highlights the problem. It kind of highlights the level of delusion that permeates, let's call it, the left-wing political conversation. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks. So I have this interesting clip. Here's Jen Psaki on MSNBC attempting to highlight what went wrong in the previous election. But of course, there's a caveat, and that's what I want to focus on.
There is sexism, there's racism. All of that is true. But I also think there is a real question I hope people start looking at about who people are listening to. In my view, there was an over-listening to and an over-lifting up of people who left Trump, not people who left the Democratic Party. The people who left the Democratic Party are the people who are going to, win in the future. The people who left Trump, the never-Trumpers who have important voices and that is not the winning coalition. And I think that is a takeaway.
Now, of course, you might have been listening to that and you might have said, wow, maybe even Jen Psaki's starting to get it, which sure, maybe to a certain extent, but did you miss this part?
There is sexism, there's racism. All of that is true.
It's like having conversation with a bunch of toddlers. Before you even think about slightly mentioning the truth that, hey, maybe we were the problem, you have to start by acknowledging all the sexism and racism out there that definitely and totally exists, and of course is one of the most major factors in this election. It's unbelievable. That's what they want to lead with. It feels almost oxymoronic. One of the big reasons why they lost is because of these constant accusations of racism and sexism. Vote for her because she's a woman. And if you don't, well, it's because you're a misogynist. That was kind of one of the main issues. Voters don't exactly like getting gaslit. That's the conversation you should be having. I wonder why we're losing all of these voters. That's what we really need to focus on, but also really important that we acknowledge that all of these voters are sexist and misogynists. They're going in circles. I hope I'm explaining it correctly and outlining it effectively. but it feels contradictory in nature, doesn't it? They can't seem to figure it out, and even focusing on the context that Jen Psaki was bringing up, that they were so focused on this whole rhinos for Trump thing, instead of focusing on important voting demographics, it shows once again that they just don't get it. She had another caveat there. We may have had an overemphasis on all of these never-Trumper characters, even though they're so brave and are such commendable people. You're talking about the Cheneys. You partnered with Dick Cheney trying to get the left-wing vote. You're out of your damn mind. These people have an inability to be actually self-critical, and even in moments where they're trying to, where you try to bring it up in a conversation in a room filled with 6 left-wing partisans, you kind of have to affirm the delusion as you go. Oh, we're doing so great. No, let's keep up with the racism stuff. But also, maybe we should look on the other side. As we're losing so many voters, maybe we should focus on those people that we're alienating with all of these ridiculous accusations of racism and misogyny. Wow, it was so great how we partnered up with Liz Cheney, but maybe, we shouldn't have spent so much emphasis partnering up with Liz Cheney. I mean, it's like brain rot to me. How you have all these people who dress up in these fancy suits and ties with all this designer clothes and makeup artists, and the big glasses, of course, always the big glasses, as we know. The bigger the glasses, the bigger the brain. All these people are such dynamic experts on all these different issues. Oh, the news people, they can't seem to have an honest conversation. Like real brute honesty. Like the conversations that we have with our closest of family members and friends. You don't sugarcoat things, but that's all these people do. Any conversation, any interview, whenever it's relating to the left wing, whenever they're talking about internal affairs or engaging with left-wing politicians, what's the first thing that happens? Bring out the baby powder. You can't move forward like that, especially when your political party just imploded in the last election. I mean, just think about that. They lost the popular vote. Do you know how unimaginable that would have been? That wouldn't have even entered the conversation 2 years ago. They lost the popular vote to Donald Trump. They lost the House and they lost the Senate. Right now is the time of brutal honesty. Where do we go? And thinking about it, it's not exactly an easy question to answer. The Democrats don't exactly have a pool of talent to choose from. They've completely alienated the male vote. They're losing minority voters like you can't imagine. If the next 4 years is a 4-year track record of making America great again, I mean, where's the Democrat Party going to stand? After all the lies, all the deception, all the dishonesty, the weaponization of government, the ridiculous slander and ridiculous accusations, the anonymous sources, the phony FISA warrants, the violent rhetoric, the burning down of cities, their violations of civil liberties. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. If we're not having an honest conversation about that in 4 years' time, and the Democrat Party hasn't accepted why they are where they are currently in the political, let's call it, zeitgeist, then they might be in some serious trouble. They don't have some, enigmatic, charismatic leader to change their fate. They have alienated every dissenting voice in their party. Every rising star has been attacked, demonized, and systematically handled with. Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., and there's probably some more. How do you come back, especially when you are so delusional as a collective, where everything's make-believe, everything's political? Oh, don't go there, don't say this, just toe the party line, and constantly keep reaffirming people. It's delusional nonsense. It's enabling nonsense. The left cannot improve from here if they refuse to address the issues. If you can't just say the truth and bring it up without having to affirm all the other nonsense, well, then you're just not having an honest conversation and you can't improve. You can only cry wolf too many times until it backfires spectacularly in your face. We are witnessing that backfire. At least that's what it feels like. This is the backfire. Actually, this is probably the last topic I'm going to bring up. I think it's another great example. You've probably noticed on X, a lot of big accounts are talking about unifying the country again. It's time to bring voters together. As if now it's time to heal. But you won't notice a single one of those voters condemning all the rhetoric, talking about the assassination attempt and how their rhetoric led to that circumstance. You'll never hear them talk about the bogus 94 indictments, the weaponization of the justice system, the 4 years of Russia, or every other hoax. Now all of a sudden they've identified the issue. Oh, we're so divided. Remember when Barack Obama said that a couple weeks ago? But none of them want to talk about why or atone for any of it. They don't want to have an actual honest conversation. They always want to do the same thing. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. They want to be the party of unity and the party of tolerance, the party of la-di-da, kumbaya, bringing everybody together, but also the party that goes totally unhinged Karen on anybody who steps out of line. And of course you can imagine the rancor that they save for their actual political opponents on the opposite aisle. Democrats and really just leftists across the board, I got one message, and let's just leave it at that.
Stop it. Get some help.
Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
All right, here we are at 5 a.m. United against the deep state. We're getting everybody back together again. Scott, comments on the meltdown block that precedes the climate change block that ends this show.
Yeah, so the blue bracelet thing just reminds me, it's like the new COVID mask. The blue bracelet's the new COVID mask. It's like everyone can identify each other. You guys can just put on your COVID mask and believe me, we won't sleep with you. Trust me.
I think we should sponsor some blue bracelets because we want to know too.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Unjected
I was
should
gonna
sponsor blue bracelets, bro.
Red bracelets.
Well, send the blue ones out so they can self-identify first.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone else by default would be red. You know,
Exactly. There you go.
just two audiences.
Dude, that's actually a great idea. I'm going to talk to Shelby with that. We need to put out unjected bracelets.
Make a note because it's 5 a.m. and these ideas get lost.
Yep, unjected bracelets. Yep, we're on it.
All right, so I do have a super block that has clips that we haven't seen yet that are more egregious and grandiose than what we have seen. I do feel like the time capsule nature of this show merits them. So I'm going to ask LD about thank yous. Who do we have to thank for tonight's show? In addition to our fantastic members, there's a town hall this Tuesday. I'll see you guys there. We'll have a fantastic conversation for several hours, as we do twice a month. But LD, I turn it over to you.
All right. Well, thanks to the Grand Theft World community and those who tipped us tonight over on Rockfin. We had Kevin Schmidt threw us $50 twice. Says, haven't watched in a while. Sorry, brother. Glad to see you doing a great service to humanity still. Love you, brother.
Holy shit, Kevin Schmidt. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you. We had F Fitz threw us $20. Says, hi, nerds. Thank you, Fitz.
Greetings and salutations.
And Imperialism, $10. I lost all connection to my friends and family during COVID, was working through some addiction issues, about to claim victory, then lost everyone. We are not focusing on how extremely devastated we feel. Thank you. And Imperialism, TCAN, $5, says thanks, GTW. And last but not least, I wanted to thank Mark Watson, who runs Studio 8424. He mentioned when our multicaster is complete, we will be running across at least 4 platforms and adding more on the regular. We are 24/7 and off grid. They can't shut us up and they can't shut us down. Mark has been multicasting the show for many months now, and you can check it out. Look for him, Studio 8424. He does the same for a number of other shows. So thank you very much, Mark. Thank you, everybody.
Leadership and courageous endeavors are appreciated. Thank you, Mark. And I'm going to check that out. And I hope you inspire and encourage more people to do likewise. And at this part of the show, I usually say something maybe witty, maybe tired, I don't know, and say, thanks for tuning in and not dropping out. But we couldn't get all the clips in the show tonight, so we have to keep going. What we're going to do is we're going to take a brief intermission. Joe Double, the creator and the authentic originator of our Tragedy and Hope song at the beginning of the show. He has a new single out this week. We're going to listen to a couple minutes of music, and then we're going to go to an epic 45-minute meltdown documentation piece that was thoughtfully put together and offered to you as not a sacrifice, but here's something that happened that we hope never has to happen in our country again. I hope there's never anyone in the population whose ideas about what's going to happen from an election are so far divided from reality. And to do that, we actually have to attack that misinformation and disinformation spewed by the government since the 2014 decision to start propagandizing its citizens. So I think it's a hat tip toward things that happened. We're not proud of that in American history. We don't want it to happen again. And to do that, we actually have to look at what happened. And LD will just kind of scrub through anything that we've already seen that's substantially already been put on the record. All right. So without further ado, let's go to Joe Double. He not only wrote it, but he filmed it, edited, like the whole thing. This is a Joe Double production, and it's pretty inspiring.
Back in
the days when I was a teenager, before I had status and before I had a pager. You can find grandpa listening to hip-hop. My pops used to say you reminded him of bebop. I said, well, daddy, don't you know that things go in cycles? The way that Bobby Brown was just amping like Michael. It's all expected, things are for the looking. If you got the money, slump versus for the booking. Come on everybody, let's get with the fly mode. Might have quit smoking, but I still take the high road. Listen to the rhymes, they get a mental picture of this white man and white woman fixture. Why do I say that? Cause I gotta speak the truth, man. Doing what we feel for the music is the proof, and planted on the ground, the act is so together. Bonafide strong, you need leverage to sever. The unit called the jazz is delivering each year an LP filled with high songs. You can find the albums at joedouble.com. If you get the record, your support, I applaud and appreciate it. Cause we're ever so glad we made it. We worked hard, so we gotta thank God. Download the wave files, dance till you're spastic. If you diss, it gets drastic. Listen to the rhyme, cause it's time to make gravy. If it moves your booty, then shake, shake it, baby. All the way to America, aka the motherland. Stick out the left, then I'll ask for the other hand. That's the right hand, white man. Only if you were noted as my man. If I get the credit, then I think I deserve it. If you fake moves, don't fish them out to word it. Get in the zone of positivity, not negativity. Cause we gotta strive for longevity. Never slowing down, we keep it stepping. And what? Black Palladium, high top size 11. Come on. We gotta make more. Never ever ever could we fake move. Come on. We gotta make more. Never ever ever could we fake move. Come on. We gotta make more. Never ever ever could we fake move. Come on, we gotta make more. Never ever ever could we fake moves. We gotta be a winner all the time. Can't fall prey to a hip-hop crime. With the dope raps and dope tracks, we move blocks. From the fly girlies to the hardest of the rocks. Musically, slumburbs is on the rise. We on these excursions, so you must realize. Continually, I go where the truth is. And anything else feels like it is useless. So what can you do when the time switch exists? You can't fake moves on your brother or your sis. But if your sis is a snitch, brother is a jerk, leave them both alone and continue with your work. Whatever it may be in today's society, everything is fair, at least that's how it seems to me. You must be honest and true to the next. Don't be phony and expect we're not to flex. Especially if you rhyme, you have to live by the pen. Your man is your man, then treat him like your friend. All it is the code of the streets. So listen to the knowledge being dropped over beats. Beats that are hard, beats that are funky. They can get you hooked like a fast food junkie. What you gotta do is know that Joe is in the sphere. Ableton's finest, prominent like Shakespeare. David Allen Coe. We gotta make more. Never ever ever could we fake move. Come on. We gotta make more. Never ever ever could we fake move. Come on. We gotta make more. Never ever ever could we fake move. Come on. We gotta make more. Never ever ever could we fake moves.
You gotta see me that one.
My girl just lost a day ago. Like, damn.
I swear to God, if you idiots elect that demented man, I will burn this whole fucking place to the ground.
How did we get here?
I'm done. I'm done. Nice to meet ya. Having a little trouble with the fact I beat ya? I guess so. Music to my ears got me thirsty, though. Ooh, good gushing. You done got me buzzing. Nothing hisses about like an arrogant twat balling on TikTok. Raise a shot. Oh, I've been sipping. Nothing satisfies like the taste of the crowds. They're flipping, tripping.
It's all right. It's all right. I feel that way too. It's all right. We feel that way together, okay? Let it out. Let it out. I'm mad as hell today.
If you pause it, it looks like she's taking the meanest, nastiest shit of her life.
Did anyone else wake up today and delete their dating apps? Like, I'm not just talking like just removing the app. Like, I full on removed myself from Hinge, Bumble. Like, I didn't even think twice about it. There's no way I am letting any man near me for the next few years.
We do not care.
I've been happily single for the past 4 years. I can wait another 4 years. No dating apps. If you are a man, don't even look at me until, do you know what? Ever again.
We need to move Lonzo. That ain't no problem. Huh? That ain't no problem.
Okay, like, if y'all hate women that much, I hope you never get ever again.
Brother,
Like, y'all hate us this fucking much? I've literally broken up with a man because he voted for Trump. And you can too. It's very easy. Say bye. Toodaloo. Sayonara, bitch. And here's the thing. Any man that's like, oh, that makes sense, you're gonna die alone, da-da-da. I'm getting married in 11 days, bitch. To a woman. You see that shit? You couldn't afford this ring. Even if you tried. Thank you.
Whoever the ex-boyfriend is, he dodged a bullet. He's probably celebrating right now with one of them MAGA mummies saying, thank God I did not impregnate that other lunatic. Thank you.
I just saw a man smiling and I was like, what do you have to smile about? Like, unless you have that, like, smile disease from the horror movie Smile 1 and 2, like, stop smiling.
Sorry, I can't give you a ride. You voted for Trump. Sorry, I can't help you with that. You voted for Trump. No, I'm not gonna make you food. I know you're sick. You voted for Trump. Oh, you broke your knee again? You voted for Trump. You need a ride to the dentist because your husband doesn't care enough about you to take you to the dentist, so you expect your child to? You both voted for Trump. Oh, you're getting older and you're gonna need someone to take care of you? Sucks that you voted for Trump, lady. I'm done. I'm not pouring from an empty cup. Go fuck yourself.
I have a public service announcement to the bitches behind the 4B movement. Not one man is losing sleep over the fact that you don't want to have sex with them, that you don't want to procreate with them, you don't want to date them, and you don't want to marry them. In fact, the entire premise behind the 4B movement is a future without men. The same men that fought for our country, the same men that have built our roads, built our bridges, maintain our vehicles, truck our stuff from point A to point B. They don't want to touch you. In fact, they don't want their gene pool polluted with your left-wing nonsense bullshit ideology. Because if you had a deserted island with one man and 1,000 women, we could repopulate the planet. If you had that same deserted island with one woman and 1,000 men, we would go extinct. Kind of like what would have happened should the DEI dipshit on the Democratic ticket made it into office because World War III was on the horizon.
I'm outside literally because my therapist told me to, not because I want to be. If anyone watching this happens to be in Europe or somewhere else, would you like to marry me?
No, and please don't come here.
If you're a conservative woman, here's how I'm gonna fix your life, okay? So you just got married to your husband. Your husband is blatant, just redneck garbage. You like him though, for some reason, something there is clicking. I'm gonna seduce your husband. I'm going to look him in the eye, and I'm gonna explain to him that nobody has ever made me feel the way he has. And I'm younger than you conservative woman that married him. And I'm gonna start, like, explaining that I'm just so fun and I like doing fun shit. Because you're probably married and you can't do fun shit. And then once I do that, and I implement your fucking marriage arc, he's gonna cause some irrational feelings, which is going to establish itself in your marriage problems. And then you're gonna be like, why am I doing this shit for a man? This is where we get ya. Because then you're like, why am I supporting a guy that isn't doing anything for me? There you go.
I tell you what, if this 12-year-old looking, she was a skater boy, looked into my eyes like that, I'd run 1,000 miles into the other direction.
If you voted for Donald Trump, you're racist, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi, you hate America, you hate women, you hate democracy. I'm sorry for your mom. It is evident that a Trump supporter has never read a book, probably doesn't have that comprehension, has never written a coherent sentence ever. Do not waste your breath on these people. Anytime that you're talking to a Donald Trump supporter, just call him a Nazi, call him a fascist, keep keep it moving. These people are beyond the right of education. When you choose to get misinformation, you choose to eat that shit up, when you choose not to look deeper, that is on you. That is not on us. Because I chose to take the extra steps to not get lied to, but you were warmed by the ignorance.
Keep telling yourself that, darling.
If you voted for Trump in the 2024 election, I hope you have no daughters. I hope you have no wives. I hope you have no girlfriends. I hope your grandma fucking hates you, and I hope you get disowned by every woman in your family.
This is your daily reminder that being kind isn't agreeing to disagree or saying hi to your neighbor in public. It's not voting to have their rights taken away, just in case. I felt like some people needed that reminder.
We're going to see a rise in this, and I'm so for it. And I also think that Republicans are going to be furious. But what would be better than an incredible gay man getting married to one of us 4B women and having incredibly beautiful babies together? Like, the dream. Don't tempt me with a good time.
Woke up this morning so disappointed in America, and I just want to say, if you contributed to putting a xenophobic, homophobic, misogynistic, racist, transphobic,
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious,
convicted felon in office, I mean this in the most hateful, disrespectful way possible. I hope the next 4 years of your life are the worst 4 years that you've ever had, because you need a wake-up call.
Every single phobic, obig buzzword that you learned on TikTok that you still can't define.
I have no sympathy for you. If you voted for the party of leopards that said they were going to eat your face, you cannot get angry or upset or come cry to me when they eat your f***ing face. F*** you. I might have a little bit of pent-up aggression. My temporary pronouns are try me. Do it. I'll be very excited. I've been waiting.
Oh, scary. Oh, shiver my timbers. Shut up, man.
I don't think I'll ever be okay. I don't think I'll ever be okay.
I actually don't think most of these Muppets are as crazy as they make out. I think a lot of it is just for attention.
Well, it's been rough. It was not what I was expecting at all, considering some of the rhetoric he has said. I thought we as a nation were smarter, but I guess not. To my transgender and friends and, the people who it affects, as long as you stay alive, they cannot say we don't exist. Being a Satanist means rebelling against them because they're wrong. And as long as you draw a breath, every breath you take is a rebellion. Keep on fighting because you just have to. Hail Satan, hail reason always.
Alright, maybe I was wrong, and some of them are actually crazier than I thought, because what the fuck is this? This one don't even need Michael, it needs to be baptized.
No, because I want you to hear me when I say with my full fucking chest, if you voted for Donald Trump, I want you out of my life.
No, we cannot vote differently and still be friends. In any normal election, of course I wouldn't feel this way. However, when Donald Trump is on the ballot, and you fill in the bubble by his name, you are not welcome in my circle.
I watched some Instagram stories of some people I care about today, and they were really excited about Trump's win. And again, I care about these people.
I don't think that our beloved country, America, knows what it's in for with a fascistic society and dictator. I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not being dramatic.
If you was a dictator, you wouldn't be able to go on social media and talk all the shit that you want and call them every single name under the sun.
I am so confused right now. The amount of girls that are coming up on my For You page talking about Trump has been elected president. Oh my gosh. We don't have any rights anymore. My grandma has more rights than I do. What the heck are you talking about?
What? I can buy a car. I can buy a home. I can go to school. I can get a job. I can do everything a man can do. I can vote. I can vote. I have the freedom to go onto this wonderful app and speak whatever I feel like. That's my car telling me I need an oil change. Anyways, what rights am I losing? And if the only rights we're talking about are allowing men to come into the bathroom with me and play in women's sports, I'm sorry, you're crazy and kind of demonic. So if you needed a reason to unfollow me, there it is.
Let me be very, very clear when I say this. If you are an alternative person, punk, goth, however you classify yourself in the alternative community, and you support Trump, no, you're fucking not. No, you're not. I have never been the type of person that's like, well, if you don't listen to this music, you're not goth, you're not punk. I'm not that type of person. But if you don't have the same fucking values, the same fucking common sense when it comes to human rights, you're not alternative.
Hi guys, this video has been done a few times for me because I'm struggling myself, and I know there's others that are struggling as well as of the election results currently. Why, yes, every vote still needs to be recounted and everything else. Nothing is officially, but it is official. I just want to let you all know that if you need to talk, I will be available to talk. If you want to talk to other family members or anything, have a bottle of wine, an entire bottle of wine. It's okay.
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble.
Because if you voted for Trump, I genuinely hope you are so happy right now. I hope you're having the greatest day of your fucking life. I hope you are so fucking happy that the economy is supposedly going to be okay now because you voted for Donald Trump, the man who was going to take away all the rights of so many groups of people, not even just fucking trans people, so many groups of fucking people that are not straight cis white men. I hope you were so happy with that. I hope you were so happy with what you just fucking did. I hope you were so happy to maybe never be able to fucking vote again because he's going to take that fucking right away from you. But you fucking voted for him. You fucking did this shit. You did it. Like, great, bro.
Beta! Come after us. Stop. Fuck you, and don't get your cheap ass.
Hey, this is a family environment. Please
I am leaving.
Leave right now. This is a family environment. We're not doing that here. We represent Panera Bread and the brand. I don't care who you voted for, who you love, who you worship. Get out.
I'm not going to have my rights taken away.
Nobody's questioning anybody's rights. Thank you. Please leave these other guests alone. We're not interacting.
Beta!
4B movement starting. You know what we're going to do? We're not going to dye our hair anymore. We're not going to do makeup. We're not going to use filters. We're not going to go get the skin stuff. We're not going to dress up and look nice. Why? So that they can come and act like they own us because we look like this? Absolutely not. No, y'all. The 4B movement means, like, we gonna be cozy, comfy in our own skin. And everyone over here is like, yeah, get strapped, get ready, get prepared. But you know what? It's fine. Let's go. Bring it on. You want to fight? I'm ready to fight. Like, dueling, let's do this, okay? But at the same time, like, I'm sorry, you do not have control over my reproductive rights. You do not have control over my body. You do not have control over what I do with my body. Because when you try something, just watch what happens. This is being used without a filter. I usually do a filter, but you know what? I'm done using filters. Take it or...
I don't know, but that sounds like good news to me. No more catfishing with copious amounts of makeup and stupid filters. You're actually going to see what a woman looks like.
My 13-year-old daughter woke up sobbing this morning because you motherfuckers let her know that her beautiful black life does not matter. All of y'all.
Hey, quick question. What the fuck?
I didn't know Chewbacca could speak.
So who's gonna tell all these Republican dudes who voted for Trump and then can't get laid because women don't want to sleep with men anymore because we lost our reproductive rights and Project 2025 seeks to eliminate all forms of contraceptives? That Project 2025 also bans porn.
Here are some of the easiest ways to leave the country as an American. Sorry guys, I simply cannot smile at the moment. It's been a long 24 hours. If you're under 30, consider the Australia or New Zealand working holiday visa. Granted, this is a temporary fix, but Australia allows American citizens up to 3 years on a working holiday, and New Zealand offers 1. So that could realistically get you through the next 4.
I'm pretty sure most Americans with a brain would be happy to see the back of these lunatics, but just please don't come to Europe.
Here's the good news about the 2024 presidential election, and there's not much. We're all very sad right now. We're all very disappointed. We're all very shocked. But there's one piece of good news that I can think about right now, and it's that the resistance continues. The resistance against Donald Trump and their awful Republican policy continues. The Republicans have this idea in their head right now that you, me, and everybody else are just going to lay down. We've given up. We're not doing it anymore. Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. We're still here. We're still fighting. We mourn for a week. We get our thoughts together, we recalibrate, and we get back out there. Like, if Republicans think that women, people of color, members of the LGBTQ plus community are just gonna sit down and let them do their thing, no, sorry, not happening. And here's the thing, I know for a fact that if Donald Trump tries to hurt the American people, make our lives harder, we will give him hell. We will make his presidency impossible.
Oh, now that we know Project 2025 is legit happening, like we said all. When's the Civil War start? Anybody know? And what are we wearing? Because I'm ready. I'm ready to pull a Braveheart and like ride into battle, paint my face blue. Because a bitch is not about to become a handmaid. No, a bitch is not about to become a Martha. I am not being sent to the mother colony. So when is it? What are we doing? Anyone know? I mean, they got to invade the Capitol. Why can't we? They got to get off with it and now are getting pardoned, but we get to suffer. No. So, what are we doing? What are we wearing? And when are we corroborating? Because I have anxiety. I'm a little bit stressy and depressy right now. And I kind of just want to get a little messy. We're like, what's the game plan? Anybody got one? No? Okay.
This is a message for all the men that voted for Donald Trump and claimed to be alpha males. You're no alpha male. You're meek. You're small. You were manipulated and conned by a man who's much more powerful than you will ever be, has more money than you will ever have. And you were so manipulated by him that you signed the rights of your wives and your daughters' bodies away. You're no alpha. I'm an alpha. This is what an alpha looks like. Okay? You couldn't provide for your own families. Okay?
Okay. Anyone need a boo bracelet? Message me. Free of charge. I won't ask a dime from you. Just give me your Eddie and I'll send it over to you.
Donald Trump will be the president of America in 74 days. I want this video to serve as a message to the 72 million American citizens that voted for him, because you deserve to know the harm that you've caused.
I don't know if this little boy is real or AI, because I swear to God he just waffles for about 2 minutes and he don't blink, not once.
Hi, white woman from Wisconsin here. Sorry to scare you. I just want to share something. I can't believe how strange I feel in my community, because I thought I knew or could assume where we stood. People are walking around like everything's normal, and I'm like, are we in the same universe?
No.
I just cannot believe that we've lost. It's clearly there's more racist people in this country than what we thought. There's no way we lost.
I don't know if I'm tripping out, but I feel like she kind of looks like Will Ferrell.
This is my challenge. If you are or know a man of any color who voted blue, I'm challenging you to post on this platform so that we can see your faces
and say,
Beta! And we can thank you. And that later we have it on the record of who the safe men are.
I need you to check on your teacher friends. Because when I tell you we are not okay, we are not okay. It shouldn't be this hard. I walked out of my classroom today, and I honestly don't want to go back.
Yeah, please don't go back for the kids' sake.
Ooh, you're hard, showing off.
A list, a burn book, if you would like to call it, of creators that voted for Trump, and that were posting horrible, just heinous shit on their stories, that were sliding into other creators' DMs, fighting with them, saying heinous, horrific shit to them. I've gotten like a lot of messages from a lot of different people, with like names of a lot of people. The list is really long. If you want the list, send it to me, or I'll send it to you. I'm not going to post it on my story, but I will send it to anybody who wants it so that you can block them or unfollow them.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you something. We don't care.
The good news is that men hate us. So there's no point in catering to them. They're going to hate us anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no point in like, does he think I'm rude? Does this guy think I'm rude? He already hates you. Who cares? Who cares if he thinks I'm rude? Oh, am I being loud? Am I being loud? I don't want to be loud. They hate you. Be loud. Are they going to hate you more? Okay. What? They already hate you. One man here or there may not, but men, as a rule, they hate you. So let go. Stop catering to them. You will not win. And I think we knew this, but I don't want to say I'm feeling this. They hate us. So let go. Let go, be free, and chop off your own hair and scream in the street and eat the cereal in the aisle in the grocery store before you buy it, and then buy it. Maybe, no, I'm not gonna say that. Buy it. Buy the cereal. Be who you would be if you weren't trying to get men to like you, because they won't. It's a waste of time.
She already didn't like men because men probably don't like her, so now she's got an excuse to try and make other women hate men, and she can talk about men in this horrible way.
Knowing that I went to bed, racist this country is misogynistic. Y'all hate to see a black, a Latino, anybody that's in LGBTQ+, a woman being happy doing shit on her fucking own. Cause to wake up and seeing it being that close, and I'm seeing comments where people are like, I'm in another country, I don't know how this is happening. Wake up!
I'm fucking feral today. Feral! If you see me, keep walking. Do not make eye contact. Do not square up at me. Don't act like you know me. Like, I want to eat, like, maybe they voted for Kamala, but, like, I want to eat them right now. Like, I want to take a bite out of those glutes.
You naughty.
In a bad way. See if I ever speak to a fucking man again!
Just went from a men disliker to a misandrist.
Fuck all of you!
We've got to look at the positives. It's actually a big win for us men if this lunatic never speaks to us ever again.
You know the worst part? I knew this was gonna happen, and I let myself get excited anyway.
Today is the worst fucking news day since 2016. I want to smash my face.
Baby, if you wanted to touch my body, you should have voted for it.
TV. Do it. Do it.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Fuck that TV and fuck that asshole. Do it. I'll buy it.
Okay, maybe not that fucking hard.
Yeah, that'll show them how fucking dumb you are.
Not that my content reaches a lot of men because I have an IQ of 130.
Lies, lies, lies.
But I want the men in this country to know that half the female population, we're dry. We're probably gonna stay dry. I'm dry as a desert, baby. And I don't want it to change. Yeah, we're not gonna like you anymore. You understand that? Women are really good at celibacy because you guys are actually a threat to us. So we have a lot less to gain from you.
I am not your bitch. Fuck the Congress, fuck the legislature.
Turn that shit off.
I hope you Republicans are happy because I'm about to become so fucking gay. It's unbelievable. If you guys think that I'm ever touching a man again, you got another fucking gay thing coming. I am literally never kissing a man again in Trump's America. Like, it's not happening. Like, you guys lost me. Like, congratulations. You won the war, but you lost the bisexual battle.
I'm going to get drunk today, and I'm gonna act like an angry black fucking woman, because I'm fucking angry! I'm mad! I'm upset! I'm angry as fuck, bro! I'm angry, I'm hurt, my feelings are fucking hurt! We always finish last! We always come fucking last to everybody!
Not in a 100-meter sprint, we're pretty good at that.
Even our own fucking men! And you niggas mamas be black! This shit is crazy, y'all got black-ass daughters! I'm angry as fuck, I'm gonna get drunk and cause a problem.
I may be drunk, but I'm dead-ass serious when I say fuck you if you voted for Trump, and here's what I think about it.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
My immigrant mother just called me on the phone innocently asking me if she should start carrying her passport in case they start doing mass deportations to prove that she's a citizen.
And here's what I think about it.
What? And I'm going to say this with my entire fucking chest. The fuck? Fuck.
Are we serious right now? Are we serious? Fuck the sad music montage, bitch. What in the fuck? I'm mad as hell. What the fuck is going on? Y'all sitting here crying. I'm crying too. I'm mad. What did y'all do?
We should just start leaving our dirty tampons everywhere. Because if men want so much control over us, they can deal with our dirty tampons. Clean it up.
We need to start doing psychological evaluations before people vote, because what the fuck?
And one more thing, in 4 years, there better be 2 women on that fucking ballot. There better be, I don't want a single fucking man. I do not care if he is the most qualified man in the world. I don't want him on that fucking ballot, because there have been hundreds of qualified women.
Okay, so since Trump won the election, we're cooked, yup. I'm gonna be leaving the US and I'm gonna be moving to Hawaii. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll update you guys.
God damn, there's a lot of stupid bastards walking around.
Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up!
I'm gonna need to call in sick from work today.
The amount of women using this as an excuse not to go to work does not surprise me at all.
6 years. 6 fucking years. It took us 6 fucking years to get our citizenship. I know some people need more time. I know some people don't ever get their citizenship, but we worked so hard for it. She worked so hard for it. I was just a kid. We came here because she wanted a better life for us. She wanted a better education for us. She wanted for us to have a better future. And now this is all gonna be taken away because of him. Because of that stupid, oh my god, stupid fucking felon! He's a felon! He's a villain, he's a felon! I don't want him here anymore. I can't! I'm not coming back. I'm never coming back here until he leaves the house. He's ruining my life, her
Oh man, this is class.
Hey, if you're a Donald Trump supporter, you're ugly and dumb.
Okay.
And that's sad for you. And what's even sadder is that you don't even realize how ugly and dumb you are. Just scum. Bottom of the barrel scum. Literal pond scum. Go fuck yourselves. Also, Donald Trump supporters, please come into my comments with those stupid copy-paste laughing emojis. I would love to go on every single one of your profiles and reply with a personal insult, because all of you are so worth insulting. It's not even hard. Because again, ugly and dumb.
Says the donut that looks like a ball.
I feel absolutely so betrayed by my country right now. It's so frustrating. I don't even know what to say right now. We tried, okay, to everyone from other countries that are saying America failed. We tried. The system is inherently flawed, and we tried. And to anybody who follows me on TikTok, if you are happy about the results of the election, unfollow me right now. Get off my page. Do not talk to me. I don't care if I've known you for years. I do not want to talk to you ever again.
Yeah, Trump the Don. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. Every time I step up in the building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Down, up, down, up, down. Cause all I do is win, 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 win. If you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. Trump the Don going in on the verse, cause I've never been defeated and I won't stop now. Try to sue me, shoot me, wanted me arrested, wanted me to be locked down. I never went nowhere, but they saying Trump's back. Shout out to Tulsi, Bobby, Vivek, Elon, JD Vance. Restoring law and order, we will secure the border, and then we'll finally put an end to the New World Order. We're gonna lower taxes, we're gonna start fracking, save the crypto and stock market from ever crashing. Not one more child traffic, Diddy and Epstein done. We'll make sure that we arrest every single one. Economy will boom, gas and groceries down. Thank you for your support, I'm finally back in town. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. Every time I step up in the building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Down, up, down, up, down. Cause all I do is win, 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 win. If you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Now I get to look deep in my daughter's eyes. I don't care about the money or cars. Me, I wake up every day and give thanks to God. He was there for me when everything got hard. Never thought I would ever even make it this far, but I knew that
someday I'll be free from all the stress, cause I made my life a mess.
Conspiracy is the story of history. It's the story of plunderers taking care of people who produce. They claim to take care of them through government, which doesn't give you anything, it doesn't take away first. So it's not creating something out of nothing. It's very real what they're doing. They're taking your rights or taking some people's rights and adding more to someone else's rights.
If you haven't heard about our Grand Theft World community membership, here are a few of the things you've been missing. A mobile app where you can access replays of the Grand Theft World podcast and show notes. Access to the Grand Theft World community on Discord, where we crowdsource news and resources, and you can contribute to the show. The opportunity to participate in the Grand Theft World bi-weekly town hall. Exclusive content from Richard Grove, including behind-the-scenes footage and future access to unpublished material. 93 episodes of the Peace Revolution podcast, and the Grand Theft World newsletter delivered straight to your inbox each week. If you want to stay ahead of the great game, visit us at grandtheftworld.com, click or tap the button in the top right-hand corner, and join a vibrant community of researchers blazing a new path to truth. We'll see you there.
as I unfold the groove, tune in and not drop out. That's a cop out, the post beers remove music. This wealthy cat was moving, stack of cash and sports cruiser, major accent deals mover, promoted fast like homeschoolers. Then noticing one day some bills that went unpaid, those crumbs they led one way, discovered some unfun game, Then he was called into a meeting to disrupt and expose, but that was the day that the world froze. So stuck in the traffic and then caught in the panic, he dipped out in a frantic speed to exceed the seed planted at the event, and what would soon come, connecting dots to be revealed in Project Constellation. Big props to Maria, broadcasted, that's where I'd hear and get hooked on the name of Richard Grove. What he's saying is hypnotic, synchronicity came out like chronic, all in full stride, compadres around all sides, seeking sources to provide solution. The heavy-handed knowledge is Willie saying the peace revolution, never knowing I was missing the blessing. The heaviest session recorded and revealed the ultimate history lesson in this quest, and I'm a Midwestern who's rocking it dope. Subscribe to media produced by tragedy and hope, and if you didn't know the gift, and here's what you've been missing, and listening is where conviction is revealed in descriptions in a brain model. Don't come out hollow, but full throttle, and dive in the deep end so history doesn't repeat, and make it complete. Catch Grand Theft World every week with Richard and Tony, chop it up with the homies, and I ain't talking about that public school baloney. In a sec you should know me, quoting Gatto in the flow that I'm growing, and LD's bearded is showing the time capsule stack of stats is open. So spread it around, the show is ready to pounce, audience that abounds, seeking out what's profound. I know it is challenging fallacies in the balance when a forensic story in it, boring men while exhorting in examination, contemplation, meditation, revelation, celebration, destinations planned, targets arrived. Autonomy crew of souls that survive, broke free from the 9 to 5, and we doing it live. Hey, with hope in our flow, where consciousness grows, as opposed to you don't have to think about it, dude. Cause it's a comedy show that be bombing truth, whoa, trying to make uncommon truths be more commonly known. That it's a grand theft world that I'm living in. Ain't no reptilian skin, just some normal humans who love to sin. From their banking powers they aim to win, deceive and betray all man. Make it everyone slaves to them. It's a grand theft world that I'm hearing at, disguised like a pyramid. For those tuning in, they be feeling that, revealing that things ain't what they seem, so I'm fighting back and digging jack, obtaining knowledge, wisdom, and artifacts, yeah, neglected aspect, that's what they lack. Yo, trivium course, it'll deal with that, be a rebel, bring the logic back, cause it's a grand theft world that they rolling out. Got the growth model out, tracing Rockefeller dollars straight to clouds. SEC connections are hard to doubt, but most go the common route, walking with their head in the shroud. Yo, it's a grand theft world that I'm peering at, disguised like a pyramid. But those tuning in, they be feeling that, revealing that things ain't what they seem, so I'm fighting back and digging jack, obtaining knowledge, wisdom, and artifacts. You should know, it's not a video game.
This isn't Grand Theft Auto, folks. This isn't a video game.
This is Grand Theft World.
All right, LD.
It's a Grand Theft World that I'm peering at, disguised like a pyramid. For those tuning in, they'd be feeling it, revealing that things ain't what they seem, so I'm fighting back and digging jack, obtaining knowledge, wisdom, and artifacts.
If you need a single location to get cutting-edge information and keep up with the rapidly changing world around us, tune into Grand Theft World, where a forensic historian and a logic professor break down the week's news in depth and in context. There's a ton more there, so go check it out. And don't forget to get your Freedom Vault on the homepage.